Yeah. We're live. I tagged you all.
John, you want to take one of those and throw them around? That's our practice for the
I believe every day.
event on Friday.
So this is about the brain. And somebody asked me last night, is Discover new? And I said, oh, hell no. And then I see it on Discover's page.
I might do that now.
Yeah, I want to see if they have to pay a $50. I want to see. I see the city's doing great. They pay the $50. But just curious. Inquiry asking for a friend.
Have you looked up in the bad section? You do? Oh, yeah.
Did you bring it?
It's in my car.
What the hell is wrong?
I was in a couple. I've been sitting all day at work, so we're good.
Oh, there's up there. It's free. I might be in it. I got work to do. Good to see you. Oh, yes, I did. Over at St. John's. Yeah, 30 years. Hey, I hear you're not coming to Bingo, you're going for ice cream.
Support ice cream, Mike. Get the ice cream. Support ice cream.
So, I didn't see you. Just the Hibernian thing.
I was at work close. I just had to ask.
What time were you there? Oh, God, I didn't get there till after 7. I had a board meeting.
That's just
When do you raise it?
As soon as we raise money.
I'm afraid to ask. How much do you need?
A lot.
How many millions? Everything millions, right?
That's right.
I'll park the parking lot.
I said, give that money to me, I'll put it to good, I'll put it around tomorrow.
Chinese restaurant right next to the place.
It'll wait.
I'll turn it over. Won't have to raise anyway.
You gotta raise a lot of money.
How long will it take you to raise the park?
We hope to have, shovels around by next summer.
How you doing? Need a chair?
Go out and have a nice fire.
Might be a long one.
We can always get that early.
Standing by the door.
Yeah, we can get that early.
Loads. Yeah.
They know it's useless to be here because no one's interested. Is that right? No. She said that it's useless to be here because no one's except for us driving. I'm up here for the show. I should be more darling. That's all here. We should have got one. There's like 4 times.
Sharon, I got that still played out there.
I saw it, thank you.
I could lift.
Really?
I could probably left it, but I couldn't, there was only this much on the council. Didn't know if I could get it up and slide it in, so I seen somebody walking by now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw it was gone, thank you.
How long will that take?
Oh, God, no. I'm hoping not years.
Mom got there 2 years ago, 2 million.
Yeah.
What they're in. One day I might get another dog. That's on now.
I don't know what you're waiting for.
It's been 3 years of my rest. Now you know when you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was going up there recently when my dog first died. I almost took. Someone came in and they liked the dog.
We have lots of filthy dogs.
I'd like to call City Council meeting to order for August 17th, 2025. Please stand with prayer.
Let us pray. Eternal, all-wise, and everlasting God, we thank you for the privilege and the opportunity to be gathered in all the time. God, we ask your blessings, Father, over this entire city, over its inhabitants. We ask your blessings upon this meeting. Father, may we do and say what is pleasing in your eyesight. Thank you, Christ.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tell Taylor.
Jen, are you ready? Roll call, please.
Cardoni?
Present.
Britt? Clark?
Present.
Janakovic?
Present.
King? Mock? Hugel? Present.
At this time, we're going to go into an short executive session to review litigation.
She's not allowed to sign up. Oh wow. Robin, you missed.
John, that number is not, we don't know yet. Yeah, I don't know what we need. We just hired tech. Should have brought us over. So we give them pay. But we like to build like a 20,000.
The executives over to me. Their lawyer owes me discovery for my questions and has to sign an affidavit.
It's all about
It's always about, that's real great.
Well, they filed a subpoena, I guess. They can be sorry to be done. Or for 10 grand, 3 years. So we're going to have a jury trial. They want to report election. They want the deposition this month. I'm a social something like this. Robin, since we're waiting for executive session, you could talk to Facebook land.
I know, really.
We don't have dead space.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Facebook friends. It's Grandma Robin.
But you're not allowed to talk because you were late.
I am not allowed to talk tonight because I'm late, but that's okay. There's quite a few people here tonight. Hoping everybody's here to complain about the park situation. I don't know what else to say. Oh, sorry, John.
What would you have said if you had been given your 5 minutes?
I would have been given my 5 minutes. I would have been saying that I'm totally against the downtown park situation. I lived in Johnstown for 25 years, and I love Central Park exactly the way it is. It needs to be cleaned up, spruced up, painted, maybe the gazebo replaced, maybe the water fountain replaced, but adding, you know,
Basic maintenance.
doing some definite maintenance that's long overdue? How do you have such a beautiful park and you've never decided to do much of anything with it? I don't get that. Because in every city and town I've ever lived in, your park is the central point of your community.
And they're going to put a fence up around it, close it for a year,
That is
spend $8 million destroying our businesses.
And you know what? We are in a very poor city. I could think of 8 million ways that money could be better spent on this community than destroying the park and killing some of the businesses in our city
They're gonna kill every
that are barely holding on now.
Okay.
I don't know what else I have to say.
And Robin, you have more people who will watch you on Facebook that will listen to you than I am.
They love me. What can I tell you? Well, hey, it is what it is.
You can cheer us
And
on.
I love all my Facebook friends too.
Did you want to comment on Facebook Live?
Of course you do. Yes.
Sure. You're on John D. Bartolo's Facebook. Tell your name and have some fun.
Hi, I'm Deb Williamson. I'm from Johnstown. I moved back here after being out of Johnstown for 30 years. And I am depressed about what they're doing to Central Park. I remember being little, feeding pigeons and having fun in the afternoon. And now they want to make Central Park into
You're good. Go.
pad. And with the splash pad, pod, whatever they want to make.
It was a splash pad. Now they're calling it a water feature.
Well, the water feature, it's great for a playground for kids. But how many kids do you see running around in the park right now? And I do feel the park.
You see none.
You don't
I'll
see
answer
no
you
kids.
none.
So they want to
None.
put something there for the homeless people at night to take a shower. So,
Becky Bushko, if you're watching, she did a whole post about them peeing and pooping in the. Yeah, she wrote a column.
so anyhow.
I intend to, Jeff. Thanks for the comment.
Please save Central Park. Just do the ordinary maintenance that needs done and the cleanup.
Do you think they care what we have to say tonight?
Honestly, no, because why didn't the people in Johnstown have a vote when they decided to do the park? Why did they go to such getting the grant and then spending $2 million to write out a plan, and the people of Johnstown had no opinion? Like our opinions don't matter.
When I ran for mayor the last time, after Frank won and I lost, he announced 2 days after the election in the paper they were doing the park. So we didn't know about it. This was kept a super secret because they didn't want us to have a vote on it. That's how I feel about it. Because had people known during that election they were going to waste $8 million, these people never would have got elected. They all would have lost. They would have lost. And now whoever takes over, they're all leaving. The damage is done.
Yeah, and it's like, stop what's doing. And with Mr. Straw, he's in it for business, but I think he's asking $7 million, and it's like, what's he going to do? Line it with gold?
My concern is they're going to illegally lower the bid. Because they have $6 million. We always need extra money for change orders, unexpected costs. So if we're $7 million for the base bid, and something happens unexpected, we're $2 million over budget. Where are you going to get that money? And if they lower the bid, we only had the one bid. How is that legal? There's no itemized description. I was at the bid hearing. There's no itemized description. What do you do?
It's all illegal. In the minute that they're...
I feel it's unethical and illegal. It's my opinion as well.
Yeah. So I just hope that this meeting tonight can maybe have him stop.
I expect them all to vote. I'm going to say 6-1. I'm assuming Laura's going to vote no against it because she's been against it all along. I'm assuming it's going to be 6-1. That's my prediction. We're going to see.
Yes, because Christmas time is the best time in the park. And they want people to run down to Gas Park.
The tree, the village.
Okay, it's like, that doesn't make sense. To put it
I don't
way
like the
down
location of the PNG Park. People, when they're in Central Park, plus it gives a boost to all the businesses, all the restaurants, all the stores.
It's like a butthole down there.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never been down there. It's just getting down there in a chair
Would be very tricky, I think.
yeah, especially when you go down.
Now, Barb Slobodny, I'm going to have to tag her. She talks about being in a wheelchair. I see you are. How do you feel the park's handicap accessibility is? She was on the news a week ago complaining.
The sidewalks need fixed.
And then they do.
Otherwise, it's still easy to get in there and get it out, but it's bumpy when you're in a wheelchair.
It needs maintenance, though.
It needs maintenance. And why doesn't the city of Johnstown, why do they leave it go this much? Why didn't they have somebody?
They never do anything proactively. You know how the city is. They kick the can down the road as long as they can, and they go as far as they can. We can name multiple things. That's just how they are.
Yeah.
That's how they are.
And like the gift that was given by Pasquarella to the city, and
My concern with the fountain is I think the fountain is beautiful just the way it is. It's no longer going to be a fountain. It's going to be a statue. It's going to be in a cemetery.
yes,
And then they tear down the gazebo and they make it, I call it a carport.
it's a carport. It is
I make fun of
and
the-
then
yeah.
if they have anything in there inside that you're whatever they're missing, carport or the pad.
I call it a carport.
Well,
And
nobody's
it's-
going to see.
yeah.
People that go to an event and want to see. I'm going to be looking at the people.
Plus, when I go to events in the park, there's all that beautiful grass and all that beautiful trees. I call it a concrete jungle because they're putting in 80% concrete. You want to sit on concrete? I don't.
I don't. It gets awful
don't.
hot. It's like in the summertime, it's hot.
I counted 25 trees. They said they're only leaving 8. So if they plant new trees, maybe by the time I'm dead, there'll be shade again. You got to be on. Dustin, you got to be on, right?
It's gonna grow, Jeff.
Not gonna know, but I'm gonna be dead. I'll be dead.
In nursing home.
I'll be-
I'm not going to the nursing home. I'm going to take
What are your thoughts on the park?
I'll say them in a few minutes, but I'll miss the park. I'll miss the park.
I think it's a done deal. I don't think they
We
care
know
what we
it's a
say.
done deal. We're just here to show our support.
No,
And
we don't go without a fight.
no, that's for sure. But I tell you what, I have my sun hat ready for the concrete jungle. That's for sure, because I'm going to need it.
And no shade.
I'm going to need it.
No shade.
For sure, there'll be no trees anymore.
Rain, did you? I don't think you want to talk, do you? No. Older. Robin, you're killing dead time for me, Robin.
I'm killing dead
While we're
time.
waiting for them to come out of executive session.
Well, and I guess the only other comment I have is it just seems to me, having lived here for 25 years and loving and enjoying the park with my family and my grandchildren, but it just seems to me like everything this city council touches in this city, they ruin it. They ruin it.
Look at the Point Stadium.
And
Remember how beautiful the Point Stadium could have been? And it's bad location. There's no shade.
No parking.
No parking.
that's the biggest. I don't care what you do in this city. There is no parking.
Our incline plane is still not
How are we
open
going to
after 5 years.
accommodate the kind of people we have coming to see our Christmas tree, coming to see the Halloween parade in the National Gas Park? We're not.
Jacob, she's here. She already signed up. I think that's your husband.
No, somebody had posted, or somebody had said.
All right, Ashley.
For Reeve's video, will it be brought up? Yes, it absolutely will, because there is no reason.
The name is
why she
Jacob
has-
Bates. Is that your relative?
Yep, that's him.
Oh, that's you. Oh, you're on my video, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk?
Well, honestly, with the whole.
We're killing dead time. That's why I'm doing
Yeah,
this.
exactly, because it's supposed to start at 6. 12 minutes late, but yeah, her video will definitely be brought up. It
Me
was
too, Taylor.
completely unprofessional, and I've definitely done my research. The funds that they're using is actually meant for something completely different. So I'll be bringing that up as well in my speech.
You get 5 minutes, then you get 3 minutes at the end to talk about the video. The second part of the meeting.
I didn't even think about that. No, everything's already included in my speech, so I probably won't need that extra 3 minutes.
You get that at the end of the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to want to take it.
Yeah.
How many views did your trash video get?
I'm not even sure. I don't even look at that.
I was reading that.
I just wanted to make sure that people know who's on their city council and why people. I don't treat people like that.
I'm running for mayor because I believe we need a change.
Absolutely.
We need a change.
Oh,
And I'm not
my goodness,
perfect,
yes.
and I don't pretend to be perfect, and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and I openly admit that.
Right.
But I'm willing to listen and change.
Exactly.
They don't
That's what
change.
we need. We need. Honestly, we need empathy, compassion. We need to listen to our citizens, and we don't need to just do whatever we want. it doesn't work like that.
We need new voices on all of our boards in this city. People have been there for way too long. I wish they would make term limits for some of these boards, because if you haven't done what you wanted to do in the last 20 years, why are you still there?
Try 40 years.
Yeah,
The Water
yeah,
Authority
yeah.
has 40-year board
30
members.
years
40
for the
years.
school board.
Right.
And he
The school
doesn't-
board's-
he's so
yeah.
sick he doesn't even come to the meetings.
And he's the top vote getter.
And he's the top vote.
He's the top vote getter.
Absolutely.
Ed
Mr.
Wood.
McKessick. Ed McKessick.
You need a shirt, Sean, that says.
So, yeah.
So, Ed
Johnstown.
was saying, I believe
Oh, yeah.
when I worked at AmeriServe, he and his son,
Hopefully people
they're
like you
not
vote.
nice.
So what?
You know,
They're not
Joe,
nice.
Joe and I are running.
Him and his son.
We're on a
They're
team
not
ticket.
nice.
We're trying
His
to.
son, only because my kids
My
have
third
had him
time
as a
running
teacher,
for
and
mayor.
my
Hopefully
kids
third
have
time
loved
for
him.
Yeah.
But personally, I don't know much about him.
Yeah. I think, honestly, the whole thing is I bring out the absolute worst in people, but I am the nicest person.
Facebook
But
helped
you,
people.
You mess with
We
me
have
or
100
you
people
do
watching
something
live
to my
right now.
children, because I have 2 children. I have 2 daughters, 16 and 9. So
We do those.
You know, it's horrible.
And then when we do it,
that
they
we're
trash.
living in even
Is that
a
your
city like
campaign?
this, because it was not like this when we
Hopefully
moved here.
people like you turn out and
I was
vote.
married
Have a
for
lot
50
of.
years. I just recently lost my husband, my best partner. That's okay. We were together for 52 years, and I remember when Bill first brought me back here. This was quite the place to be. I come from a very small town in upstate New York, so this was like, woo, to me. And it was just a great place
Thank you,
to
John.
be. I remember when we were first married, I said to my husband, don't you want to try to get a job back here around State College, Altoona, and come back here and be closer to your family? My husband didn't even hesitate. He said no. I left Johnstown in the rearview mirror when I graduated from Penn State, and it's a great place to come and visit, Robin, but I don't ever want to come back here. Well, here we are. I mean, we're retired. Here we are.
Yeah, so I moved here in 2018. We bought the house down in the West End.
Okay, I'm in the West End too.
Super cheap. I'm on H Street, the end of H Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, we know who you are then.
Oh goodness, that's
okay.
Robin saw your video.
Okay.
Saw your video.
See, the thing is, when we moved in there, we never had any problems. But now I'm gonna put this out for everybody, because, like you said, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's perfect.
Sure.
When I was moving a 26-foot moving truck, you know who Jeff Jacinga is, correct?
Oh, yes.
Captain, police captain.
Yes, he was
He's our favorite cop in Johnstown, besides
Right.
Side.
His parents live across from
Yes.
us. Yeah, right there. I hit their fence, and I paid for it with the 26-foot U-Haul truck. It was completely my fault. I took the blame, and I paid for it. And ever since, they've had it out for me. They don't like me. They don't like my ex-husband. They don't like him. They don't like my kids.
What are the names of your neighbors? I believe the one is Joanne Mock, right?
Yeah, Joanne.
That's
Joanne
Marie's.
Mock.
That's Marie's sister.
I believe. I'm not quite sure. I can't get the lineage there, but
That's why she was at your property screaming, it's a family. And you know who lives on your other side? Tony Cassander, who's trashing you online.
really?
Those are your neighbors.
See, I only know a couple of people.
When you look at who trashes you, always ask the question, why are they trashing you? And you find out the answer.
Right. And there's anonymous members on there too that'll sit there and trash me. Oh my God, you're so I don't take care of the property anymore. Even though it's my property and I'm on the deed, it is not my whatchamacallit.
And she never apologized to you.
Absolutely
Did you see her response to you? She swore in the response and she just doubled down.
Yeah, she never said sorry. She never said anything. Like, not like, you know what, I'm sorry that, like, I completely broke the law.
I was shocked at her pointing her finger, the excessive swearing,
Right.
and just the attitude, the entitlement.
Right.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, you should be
That's
entitled
what
to
so many
anything.
of these people in this city are. You know, they walk around acting like they're so much better than the rest of us. And you know what? My mama, God bless her soul, used to say, we all shit brown and bleed red. So, you know what? I'm sorry, but that's how I was brought up. And you have no right, you know. And again, if you can't say something kind and nice, honey, shut your mouth. Don't say nothing.
Absolutely.
I mean,
But,
that's
like,
why things get started in our city.
We're going back, guys.
Yeah, we're back.
And we go.
His brother, he's in the shop sometimes. If you ever need anything expensive, stainless. Real reasonable.
We're back, everybody.
Yeah, if you need anything, change that.
There's 2 lifetime seats, Jessica. Most of the board members have been on 20, 30 years. They keep getting reappointed every 4 years, if you can still hear me. I'll comment when I get home.
This time we'll reconvene our city council meeting. Approval of the minutes for the regular meeting minutes of July 9th, 2025. Do I have a motion, please? Motion. Do I have a second? Second. Any questions or comments? Not roll call, Jen?
Arnett,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Janakovic,
Yes.
King, Mock, Hugel.
Yes.
Proclamations, awards, honors, resolutions, or of recognition, not at this time. At this point, we move to public comment. At this time, if you would, Dustin Green, please come forward. Your name, spelling, address, and which agenda topic are you speaking to? You have 5 minutes to speak, sir.
Thank you. Dustin Green, 316 Chestnut Street, Johnstown, City of Johnstown, of course. You're hearing a video. I wish I could play it, but we don't have the capability to play it. But Central Park is quite important in my memory. I have been a resident of Johnstown since I was a child, of course, since 1985. This video is from 1989. I think one of the best eras of our city. The city had just gone through the 100th anniversary of the flood. Downtown was just renovated, and Central Park was alive at Christmas time. We were visiting Central Park, and I was visiting all the little houses. In this era, Discover Downtown Partnership brought those houses back to life with the Christmas tree. And at this era, children come down to Central Park and enjoy the Christmas tree and the park and the houses and get to walk and roam through those houses in a sort of random fashion. With the new design, those children will have to walk down a boring, straight street. This fashion that I experienced as a child, I got to roam through kind of a village in snow or whatever conditions it was. And I got to enjoy my youth and look into the houses just as children do today with the beautiful Christmas tree that we have. So looking at this footage as a child, it reminds me of what we currently have now that will be changed drastically with this new design. It's just one of the many things that our community has spoken out about that you have not listened to in many design revisions of this park design, which goes back to the original era of this park redesign, which was designed by an original designer that was ignored and thrown away, millions of dollars thrown away for the original park design, which was sat and vetted by our community that was ignored and thrown away and started over again. And then a design was put together that really the community did not have any say in. There's a lot of people here today. This is a lot of people for a city council meeting. It says a lot. I had to say that a lot of people probably don't show up because they know you don't care. The city council and all these people they've spoken and no one cares anymore. They know you're going to do whatever you're going to do. So I think that the city people and townspeople just know they're not going to speak up anymore because they're just not going to be heard, because they were already heard through city meetings with the original designer, and all those were thrown away. I speak very heavily about the Discover Downtown Partnership because their setup is being really, really effective. And this video shows it. Then I speak about nature. I love nature. I love sitting under trees. And I look at the new design and I see trees, but I remember that those trees are going to take a long time to grow. And you're destroying a lot of the beautiful trees that have been growing for well over 50 to 75 years. I was visiting the incline plane with family that are in from Wisconsin yesterday, 2 days ago, and I looked down and you can see the trees on Central Park from the incline plane. You won't see that anymore after this is demolished. I remind you of that. When somebody visits Johnstown and is up at the incline plane, you won't see those beautiful trees anymore. You're going to see a cement pad, maybe nothing. You're going to see anything anymore. And I'm really sad about that because I love going to Central Park and sitting under the trees. I like sitting at the fountain and getting a little bit of water on me on a hot sunny day. I really do, even in my dress clothes. I go and sit at Central Park and love having the fountain water hit me, not a splash pad. I wore black today. I wear colors all the time, you know that. I never wear black. I don't even wear black to funerals. I wore black today because I'm sad about the death of our park. I brought sunscreen to remind us all. We're going to need more sunscreen because we're not going to have trees anymore at our park for a long, long time.
30 seconds.
Thank you, Mayor Frank. I remind us all we're going to need a lot of sunscreen at the park, everybody. Make sure you bring sunscreen. Make sure you bring a good hat. I don't own a black hat. I own this very nice hat. I wear this under the sun. Make sure you bring hats when you come to the park, everybody, even men. We're not used to wearing hats. Wear a hat, because you're not going to have shade anymore. Thank you for your time, and I hope you reconsider this nasty design.
Please. Trish, if you could spell your name, your address, where you reside, or in the city, and you have 5 minutes to speak.
Thank you. TRISHFYOCK, Fila. I live in this city. Sorry, I'm nervous. I don't want to be nervous.
Your address, ma'am?
It's 548 West Howard Street. Yes. Okay. So I've been here for 22 years. I love the city and I love the park. And I believe there's so much history in our park. And I think that's pretty much what Johnstown's known for, our history. There's modern cities, and that's great. We're not a modern city. We are about nostalgia. People come from all over, honestly, the world, we know, to go to the incline. And they love to look at the city and they hear the history. And it's fascinating. And the park is such a part of that. And I appreciate all of you. I know you feel like you're doing the right thing. But you have not come really and listened to the citizens of your city that you serve. We matter. We pay taxes. And we matter. And our voices matter. There should have been more people reach out to really get a feel for how we feel. It should have been a vote, and I want to say we all know elected officials are public servants. They're not gods, they don't rule, they don't make the decisions. They listen to the people. Okay, and I want to point out, I think everybody knows, Main Street and Bedford Street, there's a building there. It's mirrored glass. It's been vacant for a long time. It's adjacent to Summit Bank. It doesn't fit in this city. It looks terrible. It's empty, vacant. Nobody wants it. It's because we have a feel here in the city of nostalgia, of history, that we're going to lose. Because I don't know if it's money to be spent and people think it needs spent, but there are so many blighted properties that need attention. And little things that could be done that could be huge. Paint, new sidewalks. Things, the way it looks in Moxham, on the village area where they have painted those buildings, they're beautiful. They fit in with the city. Simple things that would make a big difference. If any of you ever drive over to Old Conemaugh Borough, there's people there that pay taxes. It looks like a third world country. It looks like a bomb went off. We should all see pictures of it. Hornerstown, people that take care of their properties, live next to abandoned buildings that are falling apart, and they're expected to pay taxes. That's horrible. That's not fair. I'd like to know how many of you on the city council live next to buildings that are falling apart next to you. I know some maybe have some close to you, but you don't like it. I know you don't like it. None of us like it. Because when property values the buildings are abandoned, everyone loses the value on that street, in that area. Every person. That's how it works in real estate. And it's so sad. I drive around Moxham or Hornerstown and I see some beautiful buildings, houses, and they are so well maintained. And right next to it are buildings that are falling apart on both sides. Why is that fair? And there's going to be millions of dollars spent on a park that so many people do not want, which should be put to a vote to the citizens of this city. Now, that's how I feel about it, but really, to be fair, it probably should be a vote for everyone, every citizen of this area. Why is it fair that they're just overruled and not heard? It doesn't make sense. And I know some of you, I know you're caring people, but you have to see how people that are on fixed incomes in this city that pay taxes, should this venture not work like you think it is going to work, and it's going to go over budget, who's paying? Where's that money coming from? Your personal pockets or the citizens here that don't get to vote? So thank you for listening. And I hope you make the right decision and hold this vote off. And hold this decision off and let people vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Pedro, and I can't pronounce the last name.
Guzman.
Could you please spell that for us and then your address?
Guzman.
Sorry.
Pedro Guzman, Guzman. I live on 525 Pine Street. The reason why I'm here is because I hear that thing over there posted on Facebook, because it's really hard for us to communicate with the city, with everybody in the city. That included all of you guys, and I'm sorry if you guys get offended. But it looks like you guys have the final decision and everything. There was not even a referendum, and we're going to put like $6 million in a park when there's like she say, houses falling apart. I have 24 properties over here, 20 of them rented. I made $228,000 last year, and I put back more than that to fix the next houses, more houses. I'm trying to buy more, and I have one of the more affordable rents, and I don't do Section 8. And the reason why I do Section 8 is because you guys, the only thing that you guys do is like giving some money, and you throw whatever person over there. And the first thing that you guys look like you got care is about to put in a block, $6 million in a block over there when you see it's falling apart. There's nothing entertainment over here. It's like a lot of entertainment around, and that doesn't cost nothing. The code enforcement, you guys just fire like 2 people over there that you change it to parking ticket instead of like giving tickets to the people that don't take care of the houses or the condition of the houses. You can do a revenue with that. That would be more smart to do that. And the only person that looks like is taking care of that is that guy over there who want to do something. Because you guys been here for a long time, and I'm sorry, don't get offended, but it looks like what you guys doing, it doesn't work. You have to think about the other people that want to invest over here. I just got 33 years old over here, and I got a lot of property. I'm trying to do myself. I started in Johnstown. I want to live in Johnstown for my whole life. I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to make it. I'm an immigrant. I just have 5 years living in this country, and I really like Johnstown. A lot of people like it, but when people see they stay here for like a year, we see that there's no progress in the city other than just let's do a park and let's put 6 million over there. Somebody's gonna get a chunk and we're gonna be happy out of here. That's what it looks like. That's exactly how it looks like. So we can do a referendum over there to see if people care about that. Because the only thing that I'm sure about people really worry about in this city is the bills and the taxes. I paid $27,000 last year. And the only thing that keeps going more and more and more is the water bill and the property taxes. But nothing changed around me. Nothing changed around me. Monson is getting worse and worse. Shootings and shootings. You can put a cop over there, they just go around, park the jeeps, and do nothing. I'm just telling what I see in my everyday over here, what my tenants tell me what they see every day. You can put, if you give some money to the people who fixing the problem, you can put like 5,000, and that's about like for 600 houses here over here. You know, that's a lot of money to fix the city, and that's like about like 600 more houses. That will do a lot more than just a park. People don't care about fixing that part or doing something in that part. That part looks nice like that. Like the guys say here, you can see the trees from over there. It's the only piece that looks green inside the city over here. You guys gonna make it a block? It doesn't look smart. It looks terrible, it looks stupid. That's to everybody, guys. You guys are the one over there, and don't get offended, but that looks retarded as fuck. Yeah, and I'm sorry. You've been here for a long time, your administration, you're doing a great job. I'm just giving my opinion. It can look like offensive, but that's not what I'm trying to do. But you guys have to listen to us. Just help the houses around. When you look at Central Park already, it looks nice. But when you look around, when you're sitting in the bed, when you look around, it looks terrible, everything around here. And that's what you have to fix. The things around, not Central Park. So you want to leave the city and your administration after all this time that you've been, and want to go over there with a gold badge, try to do something like that, because the people will really appreciate that. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go to the next speaker, I just want to clarify something. Real estate taxes have not been raised in over the last 12 years. 12 years without any real estate taxes. Just so you know. Next we have Mr. DiBartola.
John DiBartola, DEBARTOLA, 1197 Bedford Street.
You have 5 minutes to speak, sir.
Thank you. On your agenda, number F, you're giving a contract to Laverly Law to represent the city in federal litigation. I'd ask you all to vote no on this for obvious reasons. I've been dealing with Laverly Law for 3 years of complete, total, and utter nonsense from this council. They've attacked the Cambria County Sheriff. They attacked the Pathonic Sheriff. Just last week, you're filing a subpoena on the Tribune Democrat. You have someone like this representing, you're going to have expended costs. You're going to be embarrassed and humiliated. You're going to lose whatever you're trying to do. It's a total mistake. Use your own solicitor. The main thing I want to talk about is what you're doing tonight with the Central Park bid. What you're voting on tonight is going to affect the residents of this city probably for the next 50 years. I'm not quite sure you fully grasp what you're undertaking. When the bid was announced in the newspaper, it was supposed to be on a Wednesday at 1 o'clock. I went to see Art that day. There was no bid announcement. Oh, you have to come back. We're not doing it publicly. So I filed a complaint with the DA, and then I find out from a phone call from the new clerk, I believe that's her title because you fired the old one, come on Monday, 1 o'clock. So I went Monday at 1 o'clock, was never in the newspaper, so I questioned the Sunshine Act and the validity of this one bid because there was never any public, the solicitor would have to answer it. And then when I read the one bid, it was one paragraph. I took a video on the wall, it's on Facebook, $6.973 million. And there's no detailed explanation. There's no breakdown of what the cost. Just one paragraph. Here it is, $7 million for everything. My concern is if you vote yes for this and you pass this, that's $7 million you do not have. I sat at this meeting 2 months ago. Heard you had $5.1 million for the park, $900,000 for change orders. That's what you publicly said. And you all know there's going to be a change order. We all know that. Something's going to come up. If you lower the bid and you take $1 million or $2 off to accommodate, my question of the solicitor is, can you legally do that without rebidding the process? Because I don't think you ethically or legally can. I question if you can just cherry pick the bid. I've talked about the concrete jungle. the destruction of our trees, the destruction of our fountain, the destruction of the gazebo, which I call a carport. The biggest concern I have is the destruction to our city. We lost a sweet spot this summer. Do you all read the newspaper? I'm assuming you do, because I do. I just saw the Stonebridge Brewery and the Wine Loft file Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the Pittsburgh paper. They have to reorganize. They're not making it. If our businesses are struggling now from the pandemic and they're going broke and they can't stay open, what makes you think when you shut down Central Park for a year of construction plus and then 2 years of Main Street, you're not going to turn our town into a ghost town? The Vision Together 2025's Facebook, they had a very enlightening post. They posted 19 empty storefronts they counted. That's their quote, their Facebook page. I believe it. I think there's actually more. So if we have this problem now, and you're going to put a fence around the park and destroy it, you are going to doom this city for generations to come, and I'm afraid you don't care, all of you. And I'm telling you here now, God forbid, and I say that very openly, I win this election. On my first day in office, I will have a resolution to stop this park project. I will turn it around. And you can take that as a promise. I will not allow you to destroy this city any more than you have. The crime, the drugs, all the problems you've ignored, but you're going to take the park and destroy it. So I want you all to think about this as you vote tonight. You have a nice selection of people before you. Can you do the right thing? Can you vote no? Can you table this until January and allow a new council to take this over? Because 4 of you are guaranteed gone. 2 more of you may not get elected. Sylvia and Taylor have to win their elections. What if this issue, and I believe it is so severe, you're not going to get elected because you're not listening to the will of the people? So I ask you all, vote no tonight. Do basic maintenance. If you have the power to change the bid, because I've spoken to some of you, change the bid, do basic maintenance, do not destroy Central Park.
That's right.
Don't do it. Listen to us. Listen to this city. I haven't met one person in posting about the park for 6 months straight that says they want this to happen outside of this city council. Nobody wants it. So thank you for listening.
You have 30 seconds to conclude.
Thank you for not interrupting me. This is the first time I think in 5 years I haven't been interrupted. And I hope you will listen very carefully to these people. And all of you will vote no and not destroy our city, not turn into a ghost town more than you already have with your failed policies. Thank you.
Captain McCloskey, please. If you could spell your name, please, your address, and you have 5 minutes to speak.
Thank you, Your Honor. Catherine Ann McCluskey, C-E-T-H-E-R-I-N-E-A-N-N-E, one name. McCluskey, capital M, lowercase c, capital C, L-O-S-K-E-Y, just like the former mayor. I put doctor before my name because I have a PhD in political economy. And while I was getting my master's at AQPIp, we read Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. And Alinsky tells you when you're up against authority, and it's not going to change, you don't buck authority by running your guns. You buck authority by direct action. And I'm calling on all of you here to do just that. If we stay together, remember next year we will celebrate the anniversary, the 250th anniversary of Benjamin Franklin telling the Second Continental Congress, if we don't hang together, we shall most assuredly hang separately. That's true of the city. We've got to hang together. We've got to stop this. How do we do it? We do it with lawsuits. I plan on bringing one about moving things to Sandyville. My grandfather's buried there. I know where he's buried. I don't want people trampling over his grave. We do it with direct action. We protest. We become a civic pain in the butt. And please, let's hang together. I don't want to be a leader. Bob Dylan told us, don't follow leaders, watch the parking meters. But I will work with any of you who are willing to stop this atrocity It's our park. I've been going here since I was a little kid. I used to get down and see my great uncle, the one that used to be the mayor, there, because my great uncles would always buy me ice cream at Glosser's, which is no longer there. I was born in Mercy Hospital, which is no longer there. And now the Glosser building may be condemned. We're losing the city. It's ours. We need to take it back. I'm sorry, I'm very emotional about this. I was told by some friends who refused to come to this meeting because they didn't think they would be listened to, that I should express myself, but watch my language. So I'm going to stop now before I say something I wish I hadn't. Please don't do this. Have a referendum. Wait till January. This doesn't need to be done. Thank you very much for your time.
Please. Samantha, your spelling, please, your address, and you have 5 minutes to speak.
Samantha Schaefer, S-H-A-F-F-E-R, Vine Street Towers. I feel that we need the trees in the park. I didn't realize it needs the sidewalks. They were in bad shape, but they can be repaired or replaced. I know that there's a wheelchair ramp that goes up there. There can be some kind of an elevator under the roof that lifts people up in the stadium without having to walk a ramp, a steep ramp. We do need a park with the trees and the Christmas trees where we can celebrate Christmas. And we do need, everybody around here will agree, we need to keep it the way it is. Replace the sidewalks, that's fine. Ramps, we can have some kind of an elevator where handicaps can use it instead of having to struggle going up the ramp. And it needs to replace, and I think that's all I can say. Please remember, take it in consideration, and I thank you.
Deb Williamson. Not here.
No speaking.
Ashley Craig. Ashley, if you would, spelling and your address, and you have 5 minutes to speak.
My name is Ashley Craig, A-S-H-L-E-Y, last name Craig, C-R-A-I-G. I live at 162 H Street in the 18th Ward of the City of Johnstown. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and respected members of the council. On August 8th, 2025, a truly alarming incident occurred. Councilwoman Mock trespassed on my property, took photos despite there being no active or pending code violations. I'm sorry?
Which agenda item are you speaking?
It's coming, I'm sorry. There's a couple of things that have come up.
Codes.
Yeah, it's all codes and whatnot, so.
Please proceed.
Code enforcement confirmed that there are 0 violations in record on my address. That incident was not only inappropriate, but it made me question our city's approach to enforcement, accountability, and basic respect for residents. Unfortunately, this isn't the only example of poor decision-making and disregard for public safety in Johnstown. Recently, there was a major hazard on Sheridan Street. A large amount of hydraulic fluid spilled on the roadway. Despite being reported, it was ignored for far too long, 16 hours. The negligent...
What agenda item are you speaking to specifically?
The fact that you did not take the time to clean that up. Everybody ignored it. The city ignored it.
Yeah, so there are 2 public comment periods The first one at the beginning of the meeting regarding action items that are on the agenda, and the second one for general.
Right, and yeah, it was coming up. That's where I was trying to get my point across. That's how my.
What agenda item are you talking to?
Otherwise,
the code enforcement, the fact that you guys aren't listening to clients, nothing.
it's not on the agenda, so you can speak at the second public comment period.
But the whole speech is also about just, code enforcement, stuff like that, and including I'm bringing up the fact that you guys are using COVID relief funds to basically destroy Central Park. And that's not what it's used for. So if I could continue my speech, I would greatly appreciate it.
Specific to Central Park.
Yeah, okay. So in this case, so I also want to ask this council, what does revitalize mean to you? And what is the difference between true revitalization efforts and spending federal COVID relief funds on changes that have little to no meaning for the people of this town? Those funds were meant to provide relief during a time when most of the world was sick, when our daily lives were upended, when we masked to keep each other safe. If we want revitalization to be more than a slogan, then investments must directly improve the lives of residents, not just change the appearance of the city without addressing its core needs. Thank you.
If you wish to speak to the other parts of it, you can do that at the end of the meeting. Brian, help me with the last name.
Okay.
Yes. Brian, could you spell that for me?
It's Brian with an I, and O'Shea, O''SHEA,
And your address, sir?
330 Oak Street in Orangetown.
You have 5 minutes to speak, sir.
Okay, I'm here to talk about the Central Park project. When you drive into town, it doesn't matter which way you come in. You can come in through Bedford Street, you come in 56 through Cambridge City, you can come in through Westmont, head down past the Sheets. It doesn't matter which way you come in, there's blight everywhere. Every single entrance, I mentioned, there's blight. Say you take the Bedford Street entrance, going that way. Both sides, there's abandoned buildings. What type of individual visiting the area is going to get to Central Park before they decide, oh, this place it's a ghost town. It's broken windows, trash, weeds. To spend the type of money that you wanted to spend in Central Park is a big mistake. I drove through the city yesterday, documented dozens of buildings that are either dilapidated, falling down, weeds been growing for months, rims are caved in, trash, occupied dwellings that just are code violations just up and down the street. I asked that, like the others, you put it to a vote referendum. Wait till January, put it to a vote, the new council. To spend that type of money would be a mistake. The park plan, it looks like there's going to be trees eventually, but in the beginning it's going to be just basically a mess for however long it takes to construct it. Could be 2 years, could be longer. The surrounding businesses have been struggling, most of which Sweet Spots closed. I didn't know about the restaurant by the post office. I can't recall the name. Looks like they're filing bankruptcy. I believe there's more to come if this goes through. Again, wait till January, put it through a referendum. Money could be better spent repairing the park. Sidewalks, trim the trees, put some trash cans in, put some sod where the grass is all worn out. There's electrical receptacles that need putting on for the Christmas festivals. Those things would not cost anywhere near $6 million. Probably a mere fraction of it. Again, I suggest and I recommend that you put this off. Thank you.
Your Honor, my apologies. I kind of went down the list out of order here, missed you there. If you would, sir, your name, spelling, where do you reside, and your finances, sir.
Joe Taranto, Taranto, 426 Park Avenue. Good evening, members of council and members of the city who've come today. I'm here tonight as a concerned resident taxpayer and someone who deeply cares about the future of Johnstown. What I'm about to say is not personal. It's about accountability, priorities, and the hard truth that we can no longer afford to ignore. Over $8 million. That's the amount you're planning to spend on Central Park, the Central Park project, of which you've already wasted $2. $8 million on removing trees, pouring a lot of cement, and destroying one good thing we still have from the past. Meanwhile, buildings across the city are crumbling, families are leaving, and businesses are closing. Just about the only things growing in this city are crime, violence, and weeds. How is it acceptable to invest millions into a park while entire neighborhoods suffer from neglect? Let's be honest, Central Park didn't need an $8 million investment. What this city needs is functioning infrastructure, public safety, clean neighborhoods, and economic development. Instead, we got a pretty park in the middle of a struggling city, a monument to misplaced priorities. And this didn't happen in a vacuum. The same leaders who have either sat in these seats for decades or new faces whose goal is to continue with the status quo. In the last decades, we've watched this, Johnstown's population shrink. We've seen poverty rise, we've seen crime increase, and investment disappear. Our young people leave because they don't see a future here. And who can blame them? After 20 years under this council and their benefactors' direction, the results speak for themselves. You cannot spend decades in power and continue to blame others for the city's decline. At some point, you own it. We need leadership focused on long-term sustainability, not short-term beautification. We need a city council that puts the needs of all residents first, not just those passing through downtown. So I ask you, what is your legacy going to be? $8 million on a park, or real measurable change that improves people's lives? It's time to stop wasting our limited resources and start investing in what really matters. And if the council cannot or will not do that, then maybe it's time for new voices and new leadership who will. Thank you.
This time we move on to our report, city management.
Thank you. A couple things I'd like to point out. Friday, we've been planning. We've had several great sports events and wins for the city. Friday, we're going to be doing a celebration for champions. Parade. With a parade starting on Main Street, in the upper end of Main Street. Going to Central Park. The parade is going to start at 6 p.m. End at Central Park, Point Stadium, with a bunch of festivities. There's a press release that's been handed out. There's also a tentative agenda. I know that agenda is somewhat in flux based on guest speakers who are going to be there. There's been a lot of work on it this last couple of days. So that press release has been distributed to the media. And as things get more solidified with speakers, we'll see how that agenda changes a little bit. But kudos to a lot of the folks who have been pitching in, doing that in the spur of the moment to recognize these young men and women who've done a yeoman's job in representing Johnstown and the Johnstown area in the sports world. It's a great, athletics is a great equalizer regardless of the size of the community that you come from, and these young men and women should be proud for that. And we'll be able to answer more questions to the media afterwards. In addition, I would like to take a point of personal privilege to acknowledge one of our own who's going to be leaving us to go back to school. This summer we were very lucky to have an intern with us that's worked with Ms. Smith and some of the other departments throughout the city. Dalton Lynch, who is 19 years old and currently enrolled at the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown. Dalton's on his way to receiving a degree in organizational communication. This summer he was part of the 2025 Municipal Intern Program for their local government academy, and his project, which he had a great hand in advancing, was to help solidify the City of Johnstown's administrative policies and pretty much anything else we throw on the table. So Dalton has done a yeoman's job as well. He's provided us with exceptional service, very eager to learn, very eager to grow his skill set, which was evident by his enthusiasm. He's done a lot for us, and it's all very much recognized and appreciated. And personally, and on part of all of our staff, I want to thank him for his services to our community, which is well thought of, and certainly great luck in his future and his career endeavors. So, Donald, if you'd stand up for a moment so we can recognize you. Great work. Thank you. A couple other things in my report. At this point in time, I'd like to turn it over to our consultants from Aspire who do our grant development and work. So Brooke, if you'd like to, and each one of you have a packet in front of you from Aspire. So Brooke, if you'd like to go to the microphone, introduce yourself, and give us your report.
Hello, council members. It's nice to finally see you. I talk to your staff, I think, every single day, which I'm very lucky to do. So thank you so much. And hello to everybody here, too. So, just wanted to give a little brief intro. My name is Brooke Chambers. You can call me Sheila, too. I got married, so it's whatever you want it to be today. And then I have my lucky cohort here, Haley. I really wanted to bring her as well. I am going to be on maternity leave later this year, which is exciting, and she's going to be the main girl in charge. So just so you guys had a face to the name. And I'll try and be quick. I know you guys have a lot going on tonight. So just a couple updates, kind of give a background as to what we've been doing. So we began our relationship technically on November 13th of 2024. It seems like just yesterday. Something I'm really proud of that we've been working very hard on is we have drawn down 3 Department of Justice grants that have been kind of lingering and have actually seen $102,889 come in the door since we've been with you guys. So that was very exciting for us. And we had a cops hiring program that was $250. That's been closed out officially, so we can get that off our radar. So we were excited about that one. I did list the grants there just so you have all the information for your. And then right now we do monthly Zoom meetings, but just to keep in touch, what grant deadlines are coming up, kind of any task items we need to work on. But like I said, we talk about every day, so we're in touch. As like you know, the grant world never ends, so it's been fast moving lately. So just on awarded funding, right now we have a $50,000 award through the Appalachian Regional Commission. It's called Ready Local Government. And that's just for, it'll be for your staff training, technology upgrades, things like that. So that was an exciting one we submitted end of last year. We have a lot of pending, so hopefully that number grows here very soon. But due to the state budget not passing yet, that's been holding up some timelines, unfortunately. All right, and then I did just want to note the grants we're currently managing for the city. Right now, there is around a $20,000 one, another Department of Justice grant that Mark and his team have been working on. There's 2 redevelopment assistance capital program grants, and then we have that ARC program that's open right now that we have reporting coming up to. Pending wise, and I won't go into too much detail because you have everything there, and I won't spew all the boring stuff, right? Pending, we have 6 right now, at least that I had on my radar as of this morning. So I'm sure that will be more here very soon. As you can see, all those, there's kind of ranges there. There's the Moxham Neighborhood Group Park Collaboration. That would be a feasibility study for upgrades in that region. Greenways Trails, that is for tennis court rehabilitation. The USDA Farmers Market Promotion Program, that one John and I are working on together. The goal is to grow the farmers market for the city and see economic development as a result of that. The East Side Fire Station, that's something Art and I are working on. FEMA, we're trying to get some money in the door right now for the fire department so they can grow their initiatives. And then also Multimodal Transportation Fund, that would be for the Delwood Street Bridge project to do necessary repairs on that. All right. Upcoming too, there's a whole list. These are ones that are just kind of on our radar right now that we're looking at. I won't go into too much detail, you can see them there. So if you have any questions on them, feel free to let me know. But honestly, I didn't go too crazy because I could spew about grants all day. It's not the most exciting thing in the world. But does anyone have any questions? Yes.
The first one, the active grant funding.
Can't hear you.
The active grant funding being managed by you guys. That, and then the one after that is the pending. What's the difference between the two?
So the active is the ones that were officially awarded. So a lot of those the city had before we came in the door. So after they're awarded, we have to go through lots of reporting while the grant is technically open until it's officially closed out. So that's just work we're doing kind of ongoing every single day on those.
So these are basically settled.
Yeah, and then pending would be the ones we applied for, but have not heard a verdict on yet.
Okay. Development assistance program. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so that is through the Office of the Budget, through the Commonwealth of PA. And those were two projects. I know that, do you have anything like specific right now? I know we're kind of in limbo on both of those as to moving forward.
Yes, the connectivity is tied to the now called Build Grant, or
Yeah.
Raise Grant,
Yes.
for the Main Street project,
Okay.
for additional funding there. And then the other RACP, again, is for the City of Johnstown Public Safety Building in whatever iteration that may be, whether a remodel of this building or a new build.
Okay.
So depending on what the funding stack turns out to be for that project, that has to be lined up.
Yeah, so they're currently open till we have like final plans designed so we can move that forward.
What do we have in hand right now for the project?
We have the approval of the RCAP, and then we have a 2.5, and then through the feds, a $3 million.
So we're looking at about $8 million.
We have, yeah, a little bit, actually a little bit of 5, and
Yeah, and you can actually, what's nice is you can match federal to state. So those can leverage against each other, which then doesn't come from the city directly. So we've been trying to find programs that we can alleviate some matching funds for you guys. And
Art, I don't know if this is a you question or if this is a good question, but I've been crying about stormwater for some time. Are we pursuing it?
we did have that on our list. Unfortunately, the program just wasn't open yet. So yes, it absolutely is. Actually, we were going, was open at the same time as the Greenways Trails, and we were looking at it for the tennis court area because stormwater is needed in that. That's actually built into that grant as well. There's a lot of areas in the city, but it kind of goes off of, we have to be careful how many we put in at one time. But stormwater is definitely, there's going to be more funding opening up for that.
Yes, we definitely want to think big. Like Roxbury Park is important, but like
right.
at the bottom of it.
Yeah, it just the way that, and legislative discussions at the time, it just seemed to be the better fit. But yes, we definitely have stormwater on our radar.
Okay, yeah, and multi-municipal cooperation, whatever we need to do to make that happen.
Got it. Happy to.
I have another question.
Of course.
You have the pending grant, date submitted May 31st, 25 for the tennis court at Roxbury Park, which is definitely needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's one coming up, upcoming proposals for the resurfacing of the United States tennis.
That would honestly just be for even further work.
Yeah.
Just trying to bring some more money in the door to do that. Yep.
What's the date on that one to be?
We put it in a letter of intent just recently, so we're just waiting to hear back so we can hear about a full proposal. Yeah, we just don't have that yet.
Excuse me, they actually sent an email today.
Oh, perfect.
But I forwarded out to Tony, kind of looking for some more information, some nice pictures of the park, so on and so forth. And I believe that portion of the grant is up to $60,000.
I thought it was around 200.
For the total, but for this one,
yeah.
it's
Okay.
For resurfacing and looking at cracks and things like that.
Yeah, they actually reached out to Art specifically to ask us to put a proposal in, which is always a good sign.
So the miracle ring that's going to be out there, that is favorable for this grant, I guess, because you can show the park that it's establishing into other areas, doing other things with the park.
Multi-use.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Anything else?
Council? Thank you.
It was lovely to see you all, and all to my friends I talked to every day, so thank you.
last thing under my report, and for Councilman Buell's going to report out on this, but last week we had the opportunity to go out with Parks of Botany and do some access exercises, for want of a better term, for wheelchairs. And I will say that we went through Central Park, went down Main Street, navigated a lot of obstacles that us as that are fully capable wouldn't very much be appreciative of. It was an eye opener, to say the least, and always had empathy, really, for that type of situation, but now even more so. So we're having active conversations with her to get some representation from that community, not only internally to us, but maybe with the Planning Commission and some other groups that their voices could be heard. But I'll leave the rest of it.
Very good. I had the opportunity to do that about 2 years ago too. And when you're in that chair, it's a whole lot different than walking. Believe me, everything from the curbs to the sidewalks to everything that you have to navigate. So I'm sure both of you experienced that. All right, moving on, the mayor's report. I attended the AAABA banquet this past Saturday. Thanks to all the committee members, George Arcurio, the Old Timers Association, Taylor, putting that back together. How many years has it been since it was functional?
We haven't had it in 6 years.
6 years. So putting that back together was a big chore. We had a speaker from the Pirates, really.
Yes, that was excellent.
Who did that free of charge.
Yes.
Also had the opportunity to attend most of the AAABA tourney games in the evening. I think I only missed one. And if you're not aware, after 80 years of the tournament, it was the first time we had Johnstown play Johnstown for the championship. So we were a winner no matter what with that one. So congratulations to Mainline Pharmacy for winning the championship, and then of course Martellus for being the runner-up. And we talked about the parade and things that are becoming. We probably talk a little bit more about that as we kind of go on. Also, a big shout out to the West Hills Girls Little League Softball World Series champions. I saw in the news or one of the reports that 20 million people actually watched that game, rooting for whichever team. But congratulations, great group of young ladies representing not only Johnstown but the whole region here. So they will be part of the ceremony on Friday also. And a ribbon cutting today at the Crown Building for Magellan. Magellan handles some medical assistance and other services within Cambria County. So they relocated from the Cameron City site they were in, the old Penelec building, to the Crown Building. Just a shout out to Hiram G. Andrews too. Had the opportunity to work with some of the students from there at OVR and the county and other agencies. They did community work all summer at Duman's Dam, everything from cutting grass to building pavilions to fixing picnic tables, et cetera, et cetera. So great program. I think we need to look into that for next year. It was 4 young men that worked 6 weeks all summer at no cost. And finally, the music festival, I was able to attend that, and this past weekend was a free concert after the AAABA championship game. So there are a lot of things going on in Johnstown, a lot of positive things, and a lot of things that are either free of charge or minimal cost. So we try to promote that as much as possible. I do want to go back to a couple of things that were brought up by our speakers, and I will just reiterate again some of the things that have been done. And we're very proud as a council for 12 years to not have raised our real estate tax in over 12 years. I think that's an accomplishment, and hopefully that helps everybody's pocketbook, and especially the young man who has all those houses out there. We have, in 10 years, demolished 700 buildings throughout the city. The problem we face is, as people pass on, unfortunately, as we have an aging population, they're leaving houses here. Children are not in the area, family are not in the area, and we're the ones, the city, that are left to kind of maintain these. Even when we're knocking these houses down, then all of a sudden we're having fields with grass and weeds, etc. So we've eliminated one piece of the problem, but we've gained another piece of that problem. But I do want to say we have, over the time, in combination with the Johnstown Redevelopment Authority, demolished over 700 houses in less than 10 years, which is a feat in itself. When we look and hear that we have not brought money to the city, or we have not done some of these things, I kind of say that's not true. Over the last probably 5 years, we were able to bring, through the RAISE grant and ARPA, $54 million. So yes, $8 million is going into the park, but $46 million went into helping nonprofits, helping people recover from the pandemic, helping homeowners, on and on and on. So when we look at the percentages here, a lot of money has been brought into the city. And whether we also like or not the sewage projects throughout the city, one of the positives was we wound up putting 93 miles of new road in the city for every project that we will end up doing. That's roads and alleys. So there's been a lot accomplished. I, as a mayor, I'm not taking credit for that. That's a collective effort that all of us have done, and many of you probably out there in our community. So in regard to the park, I heard Dustin say earlier, and I can kind of, Dustin, hear what you're saying. I grew up in the days where Glossers was open, they had the Christmas windows there, etc. We had Penn traffic, we had a lot of those things, etc. But you know what? There's a time the city needs to move on. We need to get past Bethlehem Still, past some of those things, and do what's right, which we feel is right for the city to progress and move forward, instead of always looking at backwards. We are very proud, I'm sure everyone in this room is very proud of our heritage in Johnstown and the region here, etc. But I believe firmly as the mayor, we need to move forward and quit looking backwards. And hopefully that's the direction we'll be taking. Each council member will have their say as we kind of go along here. But as the mayor, that's where I'm coming from, and hopefully we continue to move this city forward. So any questions for the mayor? Okay, if not, we'll be moving on here, sliding back to my agenda. At this time, we will have Deputy Mayor King. Oh, I'm sorry. City Solicitor. Don't want to forget you.
Before we get to my report, are we having a presentation by CJO? Okay, staff into the resolution. All right. So from the solicitor's perspective, there is a resolution on the agenda tonight to approve Labour law to continue to represent the city in federal litigation. Labour law had been assigned by the insurance company to represent the city, and the purpose of this resolution is to continue that representation moving forward. There was a cap on the insurance, the defense costs in the insurance policy, and so it's at that cap at this point. It's my legal opinion that Labour law should continue to represent the city in that lawsuit that's referenced in the resolution. For the fees that they had previously agreed to insurance counsel with. Next month, I'm expecting a stipulation to be presented before council on a tax assessment appeal. I'm still gathering information on that, but I believe that the city will be in a position to take action on that for next month's meeting. I've been working with the city manager and the assistant city manager on a social media policy in anticipation of hopefully having a contract with a vendor that will go out into the city and take pictures and report on events that are related to the city on the city's website and social media sites. To get to that point, it's my legal opinion that there should be a policy in place to provide some structure in terms of what's posted on behalf of the city and what sites the city has social media policies on, and then that social media accounts on, and then that policy will dictate what's in the contract with a proposed vendor to provide that service for the city. So we're hoping to have that in place for council's consideration next month as well. And that's all I have at the moment.
Any questions for the solicitor? Okay, if not, no petitions at this time. I'm sorry, we're backing up your council updates. Again, back to Reverend King, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had the opportunity to attend all the job fairs that were being held in the public housing communities, Oakhurst, Solomon, and Coopersdale. And there was a very good turnout of employers that were there seeking help. So there's a lot of jobs out there that are available, and it was good showing by all the employers that showed up. And also, while they were there, I think it was careerly, but don't quote me on that, there was also there to help people apply for their birth certificates if they needed their birth certificate. So many people don't have their birth certificate, they don't have any type of Pennsylvania state ID or social security card. So there's help out there to help you get the documents that you need, because in order to apply for a job or to have these jobs, you have to have this information. Also, I've been in attendance of all the Families First block parties that they've been having in the housing communities as well. And Tony had an event a couple Saturdays ago where they were spreading mulch at the playgrounds. And I want to thank Taylor for helping out with lunch for the people that were helping to spread mulch at the playground. I attended the first West End Business Association meeting, which was held in Favor, and they will be having a follow-up meeting. I've been working with all the neighborhood groups, and John, I want to thank you for getting involved and being involved with the neighborhood groups as well. Upcoming, Moxham is having a community yard sale this weekend from 8 to 2, and it'll be at St. Pat's. Let me see. As you well know, that there is a house being built on Somerset Street, and this Monday and Tuesday. Thank you so much, Carl, for all your help. I appreciate it very much. The city, along with some volunteers and Vision, was there to kind of do a cleanup of Somerset Street to welcome our new neighbor, which the house will be built by next week. So to make things welcoming for our new neighbor. This Saturday, there will be a grand celebration block party at Johnstown High School, starting at 10 in the morning till about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. There's a basketball game, there's a book bag giveaway. I think it starts at 10 in the morning. Yes, it starts at 10 in the morning. There's a football scrimmage. They're going to give away school supplies. They have a DJ. There's going to be a 3-on-3 tournament. So it starts at 10 in the morning until 3 this Saturday at Johnstown High School. I also was able to attend National Night Out. Congratulations, Chief. It was a grand success. And the helicopter thing, I think, just really took it over the edge. It was really great to see the kids enjoyed it. I also attended the AAABA banquet and one of the games. Also, Zeke's Pizza had their 2nd year anniversary, so congratulations to them as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Youthful.
Good evening. I'm going to confine my comments to council updates. I do have plenty to say about the park, but I'll do that when we're discussing those items. So, first off, in terms of the redevelopment authority, we are very excited that Sheasley demolition has come to a close. We'll have a much greener mayor trail there, so we're looking forward to that and trying to make up any other remediation costs that are associated with underground storage tanks there. I want to thank Arts for coming out with myself and Barb Zablotny to do that wheelchair tour, particularly of the park. It certainly helped me understand not what it's like to have a disability, that's not Barb's intent, but to understand how to use the tool of a wheelchair and the struggles that someone who is using the wheelchair experiences. And certainly there are a lot of things that I did not think about. As an elected leader, I'm often asking the question, hey, is this ADA compliant? And the answer is yes. But something being ADA compliant doesn't actually mean necessarily that it is accessible easily for someone who is in a wheelchair. So that was my biggest takeaway, and I encourage anyone who has the opportunity to take that other perspective, please do. In terms of events, the mayor is correct. Johnstown is not lacking for free and affordable entertainment and entertainment that is kid-friendly. So on this coming weekend, the Grand Hall is having a royal ball, which is kid-focused. So that should be a wonderful event. It does have a cost, but it's definitely a kid-friendly event. On the 23rd, we are welcoming Bardstock, which is kind of I'm going to call it a poetry convention of sorts. It should be very interesting, but very artistic and certainly friendly for folks too with music and that sort of thing. And then the first weekend in September after Labor Day, Africa Yesu is performing in conjunction with a grant received by the Gallery on Gazebo. So that will be a free event. A lot of kids will be performing, so it should be very nice as well. In terms of the Johnstown Animal Welfare Society, which I remind everyone is not a municipal entity, it is a private nonprofit that is trying to support the city in terms of animal control. Last week we had a low-cost spay-neuter clinic that was completely full, and September's clinic is already full. So people are definitely taking advantage of low-cost spay-neuter. We appreciate it. We are looking at sending one of our members to humane officer training, sponsoring that member so that they can, further support Johnstown Police Department or anything like that. The Humane Society, I don't believe, has a humane officer any longer. Sharon, this one here. Okay. And then I want to thank Missy for coming out with me to visit a city building. We're hoping that maybe the city can provide some resources for stray or abandoned animals in terms of temporary shelter. So we're looking at possibly doing something there. So appreciate your time on that, Missy. And I think those are my council-related updates. Thank you.
I just want to bring up what we talked about. The city is not killing any cats.
Yes, I should add, it is not the policy of the Johnstown Animal Welfare Society, or as far as I know, the policy of the city of Johnstown to poison or otherwise end the lives of cats, stray or otherwise. So I know that that's been a pretty nasty rumor that people are saying is substantiated, but from the top, we're not, that's not our policy. Nor do we have budget to be disposing of cats that way.
Thank you. Councilwoman Moore.
Okay, a lot of stuff here. Same with everybody. I attended the banquet, the AAA banquet. It was a very nice affair. Thank you again, Taylor, for getting that up and running. Attended the West End business meeting. We just started. We're going to have another meeting later this month, trying to get all the businesses in the West End to organize, help themselves, network, and all that stuff there. The West End Improvement Group, garden's doing well considering the dry weather. We've got our irrigation system in and finally got that moving, so that is helpful. We are actually, as the gentleman mentioned about gateways coming into the city, we've taken it upon ourselves to take care of the gateway coming in from 56. We started Lost Pike, Harold Avenue, the whole way down to Giant Eagle. It's pretty daunting, but we're doing it. We're taking the weeds down, spraying, and moving on. There's several of us doing it, and it's taken some time, but we're getting there, trying to get those weeds taken care of because first impressions coming into the city do mean something. The West End Improvement Group actually maintains with gardens and grass cutting 10 blighted properties that were previously blighted properties. They are not blighted anymore. They consist of our gardens and just grassy areas that we put some real fences up and planted wildflowers. So that's part of our project. We're trying to get the gateway coming in and continuing with other things that we do in our neighborhood. I attended the neighborhood gathering for Zeke's for their second anniversary out there at Fairfield Avenue. It was a nice kid-friendly event, lots of kids. The fire department was there, police department, they came. It was a good affair there. The Center of Metal Arts on Iron Street is having, a celebration on 8/28 to, discuss their process with having their center here on Iron Street in one of the Bethlehem Steel former buildings. It's a pretty good thing, and I'm glad they're expanding and they're doing a lot of good things over there. It's good to see other people coming in to go to those places and get trained on something that's considered a lost art, but it's helping them get moving on that. Also, the JPD bike giveaway is Roxbury Park on this Saturday from 10 to 2. There's 100 bikes available to give away, so if anybody knows anybody that needs a bike, go out to Roxbury this Saturday from 10 to 2.
Very good. I think we didn't make a comment too, and somebody else did. Just come in first night out. The event that we had over at the PNG Park put together was primarily our police and fire. I think just a big shout out. I think we touched on it briefly about the helicopter, but the vendors and bands, and just to see kids running around. It was another free event in the community that was out there for people just to come and attend. So thank you, chiefs, and thank all your staff for putting that all together. This time we have Councilman Arnone.
As your representative on the Housing Authority, as in the past, I provided an update of statistical information relating to the population of public housing communities located within the city of Johnstown. As of July 31st, 2025, the total population of Johnstown Public Housing Community was 2,464. Our Section 8 voucher population in the city of Johnstown totaled 996. This amounts to a total combination of 3,460 families. We are currently assisting an estimated 46% of the people living in poverty in the city of Johnstown. Over 50 families currently residing in Prospect out of the 110 apartments on site. The large majority are former residents, though some families have joined the community through standard transfers and new admission policies. Move-ins are still steady in Prospect and all JHC communities as usual. The Housing Authority has drafted an annual plan currently available for review on the JHA website and JHA office, updating the plan on an annual basis of regular requirement and does not include any significant changes or daily operations. The next step of the Choice Neighborhood Planning Grant process is another community input event to be held on the week of August 18th. The Choice Neighborhood team will currently accept additional surveys from residents of JHA Coopersdale and surrounding neighborhoods. The Housing Authority would like to thank its co-applicant, the Cambria County Planning Commission, for successful events so far in the planning and process of this JHA community and surrounding neighborhoods, and is grateful for the positive support of the community members. Is there any questions about the Housing Authority at this time?
Representative Burns asked that we join in with him and present to the Housing Authority, not you, but federal HUD, to look seriously into reducing the number of properties that are here. We're not right sized for our population.
We understand it?
I'm not done. Okay. We did that once before. If you recall, we had Senator Langerholt participate. We had people from HUD come up here. We had Dr. Joyce was here. We had several other people. We met over the conference center. We went over there. We met with them, pleaded our case because HUD is basically the one that controls it. They heard us, gave whatever reason why we can't right size our numbers here with our population. And I do agree with Representative Burns. I think we need to do it again. And I sent everybody a message saying, you've got to do this. I have no problem doing this again. I think the more times you do it, maybe somebody will listen to us. So I understand it's a HUD thing, and we've heard from them, but I think we ought to keep pounding them to say we are not right sized for our population. We really are not. And the housing choice thing, I voted against that because I don't think people know that. For every 100, they want to eliminate 100 properties, but they want to add 20. It's not eliminate 100 and go down to 80. It's 100 plus 20, and that's what the consultant has told us. We can't have that. And I think we need to approach HUD again and say, collectively, city council, mayor, senators, congressmen, everybody, please right size us for the amount of housing that we have for our population, because it's not getting any better. It's not. So right now you said Prospect's only half full, okay? So that would have been a perfect opportunity to eliminate the whole unit up there, but we didn't. But we got to figure out how to right size it. And I understand it's repetitive, but I think the more we keep going to HUD and say we cannot deal with this anymore. The police are going crazy. When I saw the statistical numbers of calls from the police department for what they are dealing with, the housing authority, that's crazy. I don't know what compensation they're paying us to take care of the policing over there, but I don't think it's enough. I really don't. I think our police are all there all the time, and that's not right. And I think HUD has to realize that. They have to realize we are not doing what we should be doing for this community, and it's their fault. They need to reduce it, and I think collectively we need to go back with it.
I'm in the process of responding to that via letter on behalf of the mayor and of the council. But as I sit here, this is at the federal level, it isn't at the state level, and no offense to Representative Burns or anyone else. I sat with the head of HUD in Washington, D.C., in the Capitol, and I asked him specifically, what does Johnstown need to do to reduce and shrink? We have 60,000 people, we have under 20 now, And the answer was, no, you're not going to get any reduction. That was bold-faced right to me in Harrisburg with the head of HUD.
That's why I got
That's
on
the problem. That's the problem.
Excuse me now, if I can that's why I got on the board. I wanted to see if you do this. I actually went there with that purpose. I have done nothing but to try and make it work. We have an operator that is in full communication where we never had before, and you both know that. I'm sure that you know that he's more communicative and more done in those areas than possible. We can't. We've tried. I continue to bring it up. We have not the authority nor the ability to do it. And like the mayor said, they told him right to his face that they're not going to do it. The problem is it's the whole state of Pennsylvania. It's the need within the state of Pennsylvania. And they don't consider Johnstown just anything. They consider it as a part of the game plan for the population of the state of Pennsylvania.
Not just Johnstown.
Not just Johnstown. And I understand you, and I truly believe it, and I would fight for it till I'm dead. But that's not how they look at it. And the answer that I get is because the state of Pennsylvania doesn't have enough places, that's why they're going to say that this has to be.
Well, I'm curious to see what other places the ratio is population versus housing. I don't think anybody.
I understand your point, but Joe, what you're not understanding is they were built when we had the population, and they're not building new ones.
What I'm saying, Chuck, is, let's just say Reading, okay? What's Reading's population versus the amount of housing? What's their percentage? We are so lopsided, and I don't think that, and somebody needs to prove me wrong, I don't think any other community is as lopsided as we are. I really don't. Somebody needs, maybe you can show me that. I would love to see statistically what the
I'll try to find that out.
Well, here's one problem, if I can just interject statistically. I sat with a PA representative for the entire day. The problem was we had data from the school district, we had data from the employment unemployment office, and we had data from HUD. None of the three matched. They were extremes. HUD said there's only 8. School district was saying there's hundreds of kids coming in and out, and housing authority and the others have different numbers. So until we get our numbers
Well,
straight,
that's what I want
that's
us
the
to
data
do.
part that you're talking about.
That's what I want us to do.
If I can make a suggestion, because that is a big problem, okay? Everybody reporting different numbers, okay? As far as joining in on a letter, we need to have Representative Burns, okay? Johnstown Housing Authority, and not just sending emails. There needs to be a sit-down meeting with the school district, with everybody involved, with everybody involved. We have that meeting over at the county, at the county building, okay?
For 2 days.
Yes, and not send a representative, but come yourself. So, because guess what? Maybe there's things that we can do that we don't know we can do, okay? But I just think that there needs, all the entities need to come together and sit down and talk and work something out. And maybe if someone would see everybody on the same page,
That's what I'm saying.
yes, everybody on the same page, perhaps maybe that would make a difference.
I just think we need to keep bringing it to the people. I think just stopping it, saying, oh, you said no, we can't, I don't care. Every year, just keep voting.
I'd like Mr. Arner to conclude his report.
I think one of the pieces we need to do instead of the blame game is the city's fault or it's housing authority's fault. I think we need the community to get behind us, basically their voice. Is there others strong tonight to voice their opinion? If they voice their opinion, then we're getting a lot of people from outside of Johnstown. Not that we don't welcome them, but when we look at our income levels, et cetera, it's putting Johnstown at the lowest levels, one of the poorest cities in the state because of some of that. So this is not just the city officials' issue, I think it's all of our issues.
Absolutely.
And I would expand on what you're saying, is not just a meeting with them, and invite the public to it too. They're the loudest voice.
I would try to get you that information.
Please.
As the representative on the Water Authority, another subject altogether. Customer service department received 88 new service applications for properties transfers. 22 inactive accounts were reactivated during the month. A total of 419 letters were mailed out to other customers. Annual backflow inspections. Customers have until the end of the year to have these devices inspected. And as an add, we did go. There was a bunch that didn't qualify. That all they have to do is report, and once they check them out, they'll be limited from the list. So it's just the big users. During the July 4th service, renewals were completed, 8 mainline breaks were repaired, and 25 hydrants were flushed, and 34 hydrants were painted and tested. The main installation lead line replacement program in Westmont area was 64% completed. The mainline installation included 6,460 linear feet of water line. The map included this reported outline progress. And the sewer project is we are at 73% right now throughout the city and Westmont with the completion within the water authority. I'd like to address one of the things that one of the ladies talked about. As a business owner in Johnstown for almost 40 years, I personally, with my wife, bought and tore down 7 houses. If more of the community would get involved, some of these properties could be taken care of with an adjoining property. I worked with demolition companies and cleared them, and if you look at my property, you'll see that the 2 beside me and 5 across the street were cleaned up, and there's still 3 more to be done. But in doing so, we spent $110,000 just for the parking lot. So it's a big dollar, and I understand the city does as much as they can. And you address the greenways. When they did it 3 years ago, was it you guys did the 3? They did down Minocqua Boulevard, they did Strayer Street, and down to the West End. And they started out, they didn't do as many in the Moxham end of town because the main thoroughfare wasn't there. But they did. You notice Central Avenue's been cleaned up, and they're working as diligently as they can. There's a limited amount of money that we can do this. As for the grass growing, our wonderful Public Works Department has only 34 employees. Is that correct? 20 employees. 20 employees. 20 employees. If you take the 2 mechanics out and itself, that leaves 17. That's a lot of grass to cut. If some of the people that live next to these properties would just help out. It's our community. You say that, you stretch it, you mean it, you absolutely believe in it. Well, what's it take for you to take your lawnmower and cut a piece of grass next to your house? Or take the weed eater and cut around somebody? You know, there's people that don't have the tools, and you do. And a bit of help from the community would make a long distance to help all the situation. We're doing what we can with the amount of money we have. But your participation would mean a lot. Thank you very much.
I have one more thing that I can mention before I move this to you. Laura, we possibly scheduled today a workshop with Laura. A lot of people I've been talking to don't quite understand the land bank. It's one of those things that have to be constantly repeated, so people understand that. So if you can just mention it.
We'll probably want to talk to Joe about that, but anyway, I'm sure he'd be glad to be there. But okay, yeah.
I want to mention who took the was at Homewater's place, just in case there's a policeman there out there.
Mr. Marcus was the executive director of the development, and John Hawkins.
Representative Brett?
Yes, good evening. Not to be repetitive on all the things that have been said today, I just want to give pardon me?
Static. Here we go.
Can you hear me now?
Just talk about it.
We need a truck.
I'm retired. Not to be repetitive, but I just want some of the things that have been said already. I want to give a shout out to the AQPIp1HhjLw5SRNe4S committee for the fine job you guys did down at Taylor. Getting pictures back, the whole thing, pictures out there, Carmen, getting it, all that. They said they had a lot of mold down there and stuff, and you guys did a wonderful job down there. It's been a long time since I played in the AQPIp, but the enthusiasm that I saw down there, the games I went to was amazing. The whole Johnstown spirit, that was great. And even better than the 2 Johnstown teams, but based on. And I give a shout out to the main line and Martellus as well, to the coaches, the players, and the parents. Because that was a wonderful job, wonderful display of baseball. Also, a shout out to the West Suburban girls. They put softball on the map. The girl was throwing that ball. I mean, she was thinking she would pitch that ball. And shout out to them, and also to Keegan Bassett, U17 World Republican. A big shout out to him and to him and his parents. Thank you guys.
the other schools wrestling against him at the high school level. Councilman Clark?
All right, now we ready?
Yeah.
All right, a few things to go over here. Continue, of course, our downtown business centers meetings. Next one will be on the 19th, and all members of council and those who'd like to join, you're always welcome. This time, Councilman Arnone has allowed us to, or got us over to the American Legion on Main Street. So luckily, we're going to be able to change it up a little bit and have different scenery and all that. I also attended the West End Business Centers meeting that was, I thought, excellent. Some things that opened my eyes, especially from Councilman Mock and Deputy Mayor King, found out that how many businesses did you go through? 32? 30-some businesses, just in the West End we're talking about. And we really opened up a line of communication that I thought was excellent. And I think at the next one, we're going to have, hopefully, Police Chief Britton be there and just talk to those people over there. But to be with them and to hear from them was great because, like I said, when I started the downtown business centers meetings, I was hoping that would grow. And obviously, you can't have every business in the city at one place at one time. So to get that broken up, I thought was excellent. We'll continue with those. I'm happy to be a part of that anytime. Now, let's get to the fun stuff. So, of course, everybody's mentioned AQPIp, but we'll get to some details here that was excellent for the city of Johnstown. And one of them, of course, was the Hall of Fame banquet. I've been trying to get that back for about 3 years, and we finally got it back. It was excellent turnouts. I think every city representative that was there for that, it was a great time. And we had some great honorees. I mean, Chris Vile being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I think that speaks for itself. He more than deserves it. And just all the honorees that we had from all different areas. Keep in mind, a lot of people forget that the AQPIp is, of course it's in Johnstown and benefits the city, but the AQPIp is made up of, parts of this entire country, even sometimes outside of this country. So to have all of that come here, the only time in 80 years it's only been not held in Johnstown twice in 80 years. So that was just excellent to have. Now the tournament itself, I think the numbers for opening night were about 6,500 people at Point Stadium, and this, in my time on the Johnstown Alzheimer's Board, was the first time we had perfect weather. I think that's the first time ever we had perfect weather for it. So the tournament itself was excellent, and I must thank three people in particular, and that would be Police Chief Britton, the policing that we had at the stadium and during the tournament and every single night was excellent. It's the best I've ever seen. And I don't say that lightly. It was the absolute best. And then we also have to thank Fire Chief Jim McCann, because not just having the fire companies down there and having the guys down there taking pictures and all that, just the presence there and the way that you helped to shut down Washington Street for the parade and everything was excellent, because that's what you two do. It's excellent. And then lastly is somebody who probably doesn't get as much credit as he deserves, but Carmen Trusella with Public Works. I put up a list to you and Tony about what we needed fixed at the Point Stadium probably 6 days before the tournament started, and it was all done. Everything we talked about, down to a dehumidifier in the Hall of Fame, I think. It was the city's response this year and working alongside the city to bring this tournament, which is the premier event by bar none of this entire city. Every single year, this city did it and did it better than I've ever seen it. So thank you. And that's all I have for that. And then I wanted to mention too, correct me if I'm wrong, Reverend King, on this date, 8/23. That's back to school block party in Johnstown. I think on August 23rd, Saturday. I think it's on Saturday. Is it back to school? Yes, that. Yeah, the 23rd. Yeah, so that's coming up on the 23rd. That's going to be an excellent event. I think this is the 4th or 5th year that they've done that. 4 years in Johnstown where they get the street shut down, they give backpacks, and all the different stuff to kids going back to school who can't afford it. So that is also coming up. Can't wait for that. And then I did want to talk about the upcoming parade a little bit. That we're so enthralled to be able to do all the organizations that are being a part of this. We couldn't do it without them. And the fact that all these organizations in the city is putting this together within 5 days, it's been pretty incredible. And we have, I would just tell you, I just attend. We have some amazing things coming. But as to the parade itself, I will say that what we're planning on doing is gathering all fire and police and EMS vehicles along Railroad Street, Jackson Street, the upper end of Locust Street, and the upper end of Main Street to be able to parade the wrong way down Main Street into Point Stadium. So that's really all details, and of course there's a press release after. But I just invite you to come, because when you get to Point Stadium and you see what we're going to be able to put on, I don't think we've seen something like this in quite some time. So thank you guys.
And are there fireworks after the ceremony?
Yeah.
Which is always a draw for Johnstown.
Absolutely. There's a lot of little secrets that come. Let's put it that way.
Very good. Anybody have anything else to report before we move on? If not, petitions, none at this time. Ordinances for first reading. An ordinance amending ordinance number 5371 adopted July 9, 2025, amending the salaries and wages to be paid to certain employees of the city of Johnstown for the calendar year 2025. Do I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Are there any questions or comments? There's none at this time. Jen, roll call, please.
Britt?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Janekovic?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Mock?
Yes.
Kuku?
Yes.
Arnone?
Yes.
Resolutions. A resolution authorizing the city of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania to accept the bid of $6,978,000 to Straw Construction Incorporated for the purpose of providing construction services for the Johnstown Central Park Improvement Park Project. Do I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any comments, questions before we vote? If
Yes,
not,
sorry. As many of you know, I have a lot of personal feelings about Central Park, and I heard a lot of opinions expressed this evening. I have to say that I agree, at least in part, with almost all of them. I did hear 2 slurs, which I did not appreciate and certainly don't condone. But other than that, I feel very strongly that there are also perhaps some misconceptions about the way we arrived at this point. So the first one I want to talk about is, why didn't we spend this money somewhere else? Because a lot of people are saying, hey, $7 million, let's spend that somewhere else. So when we received our ARPA funds as the city of Johnstown, we elected to spend that multiple different ways. As the mayor alluded to, there were a number of things we did for residents, for nonprofits, etc. Because of a study that we had done, and because of extensive community engagement and public engagement that we did, it became clear that the Central Park project, or some sort of improvements to Central Park, were vital to Johnstown's continuation and revitalization. So what does that mean? To me, that meant, as a Moxham resident myself, that Central Park is for everyone. It's not just for people who live downtown. It's not just, to put lipstick on a pig. It's not that we're trying to do anything like that. Having a gathering space for our community is vital. So it's so great, why don't we just leave it the way it is? That I do dispute. I have 2 material interests on the park between Alma Hall and the Gallery on Gazebo. The park is crumbling. I don't disagree that we're in need of trees in the park. Most of the current trees there are not being removed. I think that's a misconception a lot of people have. And this community was given a choice. So when the city chose to hire Scape Landscape Architecture, a premier landscape architecture firm, 2 people among a very talented team came here. One of them was a MacArthur Genius, and one of them was a Loeb Fellow. And among them, they came up with 3 different plans for Central Park. One of them was pure maintenance. Take what you have, make it look a little bit better. Second one, make a few changes to the park. Third one, radical transformation. There were 3 months of public engagement, during which the aforementioned Loeb Fellow did everything from ride a wheelchair with Barb Zablotny to have extensive meetings with veterans groups. In all of the community feedback that they received, the overwhelming opinion was that Central Park should be radically changed. There are a couple other things that I want to say, and I do want to keep this like we're talking about a bid for a specific contractor. So I'm trying to confine my comments and not speak too generally about the park, but a lot of the comments I heard made me think that there are still some misconceptions. So one of them is timing. Why can't we just wait for a referendum? Why can't we wait until then? So I want to point out again, I'm 37 years old. I've been on this council for 4 years. I've not been here a lifetime. I will not be returning because I lost my bid for mayor of this council. So I come from the perspective of I don't really have anything to lose at this point because I'm out anyway. I'm trying to do the best I can for the city in the time that I have and represent my constituents in the best way that I can. So when we say, why can't we put it to a referendum, I tend to agree, but timing is of the essence. And we already asked the people what they wanted. The people of Johnstown spoke. They responded to this community engagement several years ago, told us what they wanted. So now we no longer have time. If we do not spend this money now, this money returns to the federal government. This money was allocated to the park. It cannot be spent on any other item right now. We had an opportunity to allocate it differently before, years ago. We did not do that. It is now allocated to the park and it cannot be changed at this point. So, why is timing an issue? Timing is an issue because of the way this grant is funded. So not only could we not move this money around if we wanted to, we don't have time to do so. These funds need to be expended by September of next year, I believe that's correct. Okay, so we don't have time to wait around.
Reporting purposes.
So we would not have time to do a significantly different design to the park. But that brings me to my next point. The design that we are voting on is one that I spoke out against when we voted on this previously a couple of months ago. So when we had the finest landscape architecture firm in the world come out to redesign us a park, we did pay $2 million for a design. That included subcontractors lighting, that included fees to CJL Engineering, which is still on the project. That included the community engagement that was done, all manner of things. And it also included a design for Main Street. So it was not simply a design for the park that we paid this $1.6 million for. So when we got that design, there have been disputes, and I've heard about it up one side and down the other about how these documents weren't ready for construction. The landscape architecture firm delivered construction-ready documents. I've seen the file. So why didn't we use those documents? That has been puzzling to me. I don't understand how we had a plan that had a place for the Christmas tree, that had the Christmas houses distributed to Dustin's point, that had community engagement from the Discover Downtown Partnership about where the Christmas tree should be placed, how we had feedback from local musicians and performers about what kind of pavilion we should have, how we had other feedback about stormwater retention and whether or not we wanted a water feature, all of this feedback both from experts and from community members, and we're now using a plan that does not even resemble it. I'm looking at the graphic in front of me. It lacks a water feature. It retains a water feature in the center of the park. One of the jewels of the plan that was proposed was an enormous, beautiful, sloping lawn. There's tiny little grass patches here that are almost smaller than the new gazebo. It's unbelievable to me that this is the plan that we have arrived at between the finest landscape architecture firm in the world designing our park and local contractors stepping in, taking over, and telling not just you, the people of Johnstown, but us, the council of Johnstown, that they know better than everybody else. I'm offended by that. So that's why I have such strong feelings. I don't understand why we don't have the park that we paid for. So that's my complaint. And I think a lot of people maybe miss the nuance of that. What I do know is a lot of people are talking about the Pascarilla Fountain. I want to be very clear, the Pascarilla Fountain, Mr. Pascarilla, who is theoretically responsible for that, although the city of Johnstown owns that fountain, has acknowledged, so have we, that it was picked out of the catalog. This is not a historic fountain, okay? This is something that was picked out of the catalog in the 1980s and dropped in our park. It's not a precious fountain, and it's crumbling. Okay, so we talked about core needs, we talked about how Central Park is for everyone, we talked about Christmas, I condemn the slurs. The other thing I heard is that nobody wants the changes to the park, so I did mention all the extensive community engagement that was done about wanting an extensive, radical redesign for the park. I think Mr. Suter quoted me as saying, wow, Johnstown has made an audacious choice. So I think that's clear, that speaks for itself. There are plenty of people in favor of updating the park and making it a gathering space for all of us, a beautiful natural space with native plantings that now have been replaced by a proven winners branded garden I don't understand. We talked about the fountain and the trees. I know that the bid we're talking about is over budget, also concerning to me, and I had questions about how we might do value engineering on that. When I asked the question, hey, are we value engineering by maybe taking out the giant circular concrete pad that we put in the center of what was to be the lawn and some of the additional sidewalks that we were adding into the park instead of taking out other features? The answer was no, we did not consider that. So apparently the concrete jungle point is well taken, Mr. DiBartolo. It's ridiculous what has been done to the original design of this park. Let's see, talked about concrete. The other thing somebody mentioned, the water authority, this isn't entirely relevant. We do not control the rates that the Johnstown Water Authority charges, just wanted to make that clear. Talked about public engagement and the timing. All right, I think that's all I had to say about the park. That hopefully elucidates my opinions about this. Thank you.
City Manager, do you have anything that you'd like to comment on?
Yes, there's been some further modifications which you have on the design in front of you. We've eliminated 1,100 plus square feet of concrete in the design that you have in front of you. There were a couple of walkways down, added 351 more feet of grass area, and the rest is landscaped area to account for that 1,100 square feet of concrete that we removed. We're looking at fountains right now to go in as a replacement in the central part of the park, which I have some renderings to give to you guys to replace that fountain. We did have Mr. Pasquarello come to Central Park last week with the contractor who had given us a tentative look at that fountain to move it. The contractor agreed that that fountain is probably not going to survive transportation as it is, and was reluctant to put his brand on it for that removal. To that end, we are going to try and dismantle that as best we can. Mr. Pasquarello is well aware of that. He did agree to that. The folks at Sandyville were very gracious. I have a letter from them in regards to the city doing what we need to do with the fountain to save on costs. So at the current time, the fountain is not going to Sandyville. In fact, there are no monuments going to Sandyville. Everything's going to be staying in Central Park. They'll be realigned. The fountain is going to come out with a couple of replacement fountains to represent somewhat of the motif of the current fountain that's in there. Most of the trees are staying.
Can I ask, have the veterans have agreed to any changes or relocation of those statues in the park?
All the stakeholders have. All the stakeholders who have dealing with the monuments and statues in Central Park have agreed. A majority of the trees are staying. Look at CJL. The number of trees that are coming down versus the number of trees that are staying. Off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I would say there's maybe 3 or 4 that are getting removed, and I think 2 of them are already dead and dying and diseased, so they need to come down anyway.
Okay.
So I think I think pretty much all of the healthy older trees are all staying. They'll be protected.
Right. Also with that, we're going to be planting 57 new trees. Majority of those trees are being donated through the Western PA Conservancy. They will do the planting of the trees that are 2-inch in caliber. Trees that are 3-inch in caliber or bigger, we will do those professionally. Those trees that are being planted from the Conservancy come with a 2-year maintenance on those trees from that grant that was gotten through Vision. So as that moves forward, obviously, Stroth Construction has indicated that their construction schedule will allow us to plant those trees in May, so we don't have to worry about planting those over the summer months. And again, we're trying to make it as user-friendly as possible.
I was saying, I'm mentioning about the plants are native to our area and the issues we have with salt. Some of those changes.
The flora and fauna that has been chosen for the park, especially along the walkways, is going to be salt resistant. There's going to be a number of different genesis of trees throughout the park. So, gosh forbid, if we would have a blight, it's not going to wipe out all the trees throughout there. But again, there's only 2 or 3 trees throughout the park that are coming down to Circles Park as far as misconceptions. None of the monuments are coming out of the park, with the exception of the firefighter bell, which was always going to come out. That's been moved to the firefighter park for dedication sometime later this year. All the other monuments, with the exception of the fountain, are staying in the park. And again, once I have some better information on the fountain to show the folks on council, there will be a fountain in Central Park. Again, much matching the motif of the current fountain. And Mr. Upel is right that fountain is model number 290, the company that was purchased. We actually researched, with the assistance of Mr. Pasquarella, we researched that fountain. The company no longer is in business, so there was nothing for us to reach out to them to replace that similar fountain. But we're looking at a fountain right now that's going to be possibly marble, which the life expectancy will be much longer than the current stone edifice that we have.
I have a lot to say, so.
Okay. Okay. The one thing that I've always did not like is the water feature. I just didn't think the water feature because of kids running in it, going into stores, keeping it disinfected, falling, liability issues, the whole 9 yards. That is being eliminated. So everybody knows we are not having a water feature. There's no splash pad, no splash anything. There's not going to be that kind of cleaning up water with kids running through it. It is gone. It is gone. It's not going to be there. The only water feature we're going to have is the replacement of a pump, and that's it. So that right there, value engineering saves about $360,000 against the cost. Plus the fact that if we had that water feature, and I know a lot of people wanted it, but it's compromised. We've got to give and take on this thing. It would have cost the city probably $3,000-4,000 a month in water. Is that what the quote was that we got?
I don't think we'd have been using it in the winter.
Well, I don't care. It's just what it costs. More money to maintain the water that's splashing around that's causing a mess. So eliminating the water feature is something that some people wanted it, some people didn't. I did not, but it was a compromise, so I'm okay.
I just have one piece, if you don't mind. When we talked about the trees that are being taken out of the park, et cetera, if you remember, probably 2 or 3 years ago, there was a gentleman on Franklin Street sitting in his car, and a tree fell on his car, and he was almost killed. So what we're taking out are those that needed to be taken out, and we still will have trees remaining there that we can see from the incline plane.
All right, so let's just go over more than a few things here. First of all, it is extremely important, not just to me, I think to everybody on this council, that people know, that especially residents of this city know there are a ton of deductions that we have to talk about in this part because of the bid. But let me get through to a couple things. I'm going to reiterate a couple things that's already been said, but I'm also going to talk about a couple other things. I was part of that group that went to Central Park just 10 days ago, and stood in front of the fountain with the city manager, the assistant city manager, Mr. Pasquarella. We saw what we've been saying for quite some time. It is not in good shape. It is limestone. It does not last in these conditions. And it has not been there 100 years. Like I've said 1,000 times, it has been there for 30-some years.
And the guts of it inside.
Exactly. And the fountain itself, what was actually donated to the city, was the actual inside of the fountain. The base of the fountain that you see now was built by the city. That concrete base was built. The inner circle was added by the city. The actual lions and the top of the fountain, that was what was donated to the city. And everything else was built by the city afterwards. And let's not forget, too, that there was other fountains in the park before. There was one that had dancing water with lights. At one time, there was just an American flagpole in the center of the park. It's not like there's been a fountain here for 100 and some years. And let me also say, historically wise, the original park of Central Park, when Joseph Johns donated to the city of Johnstown, was actually donated to be part of a courthouse complex. If you look back on history for that. And the only reason that never happened was because of the fact that at one time, the county seat was supposed to come to Johnstown before it moved to Evansburg. So at one time, what is Central Park now was not even supposed to be there. So let's get our facts straight here a little bit. The other thing that I really want to talk about are the trees. I've heard this time and time again. I think there were, the last time I was in a meeting with CDL and others as well, I think there's 3 leaving.
That sounds right.
3 or 4 of what, 12, 13? I don't remember off the top of my head.
There's 7 remaining.
7, okay. So that's most of them are still.
Yes.
And the ones that aren't are dead or dying. So yes, the large trees will still be there. The other aspect of it involving trees and shrubbery and so on and so forth is a lot of the trees that will be coming in will not be saplings, be medium growth already. And I also have to say that at some point, I think it's funny that I kind of picked this project up when I've only been on council for 5 or so months. I was not part of any of this process at all, any of the decisions made until we get here, and somehow I decided that I was going to pick this up and talk all about it. Well, there's one reason why. And that reason is because I actually care about it. I care about it because I can hear the misinformation that is spread. And I can say till I'm blue in the face, and I have said till I'm blue in the face multiple times, whether it be about the trees, whether it be about the fountain, or whether it be about the biggest one that bothers me the most, especially about the monuments, which luckily we haven't heard about that much recently. Monuments were never going anywhere. The only one that was where it is already gone, and to be dedicated, I think, Chief, on October 6th, where it belongs in the Johnstown Firefighters Memorial Park, where the bridge, right next to the bridge that was just redone for Easy Race. That's where that belongs. So, I must say that, one, I'm glad to have seen some, in this new rendition, I'm glad to have seen some more green space added. I do like that a lot. I'm glad to see a fountain added. Not so much for my purposes, but more so for the community's purposes that really want that. I'm glad to see the water feature gone, right? Because I understand it was, many of you called it for a long time a splash pad. It was never intended for that, but I could absolutely see how it could be used for that. So I'm glad to see that gone. And my only other thing, because we have a whole list of deductions here. The only other thing that I have to ask, and this comes from my perspective of how this resolution is written, where it says that we would accept the bid at $6.9 million. Okay. If you could go into that for us on how that actually works, because it'd be difficult to accept something we can't afford.
Right, so Straw Construction submitted the bid for that amount, and that's the area or the dollar amount we have to start with. If council wants to proceed with this project and proceed to award a bid to Straw Construction, then you have to accept the bid that was submitted. And then, as is referenced in the next resolution, if council feels that the $6.9 million that was bid is too expensive because it exceeds the money that the city has for this project, then the next question is, does city council want to move forward with the value engineering and reduce the contract dollar amount that's actually entered into for the city, taking into consideration some adjustments that have been referenced already. So that's why there are 2 separate resolutions for consideration.
So in other words, we have to, if we're going to go strong, we have to at least accept the bid.
Yes.
And move from there.
Correct.
And that's allowable and considered legal in terms of adjusting it and accept their bid and reduce it down.
Yeah, oftentimes projects, once the bid is accepted, there are adjustments made actually throughout the entirety of the project, either through value-added change orders or deducts. So that's not atypical.
No, I was just going to say, I made a point of today making sure I went and looked at the fountain again close up, also the gazebo, the condition of the park. And that wasn't just today. I do that probably 2 to 3 times a week. And I get out to many different areas to talk to people. And just like tonight, some people are opposed to it, some are in favor of it. The question I've asked all of them, or most of them, is, when's the last time you were in the park? And unfortunately, most of the ones that are answering, 'cause I haven't been there for years, or it's been months since I've ever been in the park, or I haven't even been down there. So, it takes a whole lot. That's why I'm stressing. I went to the park again just to reinforce why I'm voting tonight. And a lot of that's irreparable. A lot of those things need fixed. It's time to move forward, as I said earlier, and I strongly believe that. We need a park that's for Johnstown, and we move forward by doing that. So I know we all have our different opinions tonight. We'll all have our votes as we feel strongly, but I know myself and all of us here have done our research and talked to people, so we're not voting blindly tonight on what we think is best for the city. So.
One last, absolutely, sorry, go.
Okay. I know a lot of people have said we paid 1.6 or whatever it was to Skate to do the drawing or to do the project. What people don't understand, whether it's Skate or anybody else, it's not just a drawing on a piece of paper. It's the underneath. It's the whole infrastructure underneath that costs a lot of money to manage, to design. So a lot of the Skate drawings, which I'll give them credit for that, took that into consideration. So the 1.6 is just not drawing a piece of colored paper. Anybody, any engineering company would do the whole depth of everything. And the wiring and the plumbing or the water, it's not putting a PVC pipe in the ground and running a water line through. It is major water structures, major electrical infrastructure going on there. It is a ton of extra work that people don't see because it's underground. They see the colored paper and they say that's way too much money, but they don't understand all the engineering that goes on underneath that requires a lot of work. And that's a lot of work went to do that. And I don't think that was probably conveyed a lot either through Skate or CJL. That a lot of the stuff that needed done was the underneath the grass that needed to be taken care of. That's all I guess.
I'm actually going to comment something about that. So the other part about the park, and believe me, coming into this as an appointed member of the council, I still run, I didn't want to necessarily come into the Central Park project, okay? But at the same time, I took the time and hours and listening to understand where we're at, where previous council and determinations have gone, and what will be done, what needs to be done moving forward. I said in a previous statement that if we were to just simply give back money to the federal government, it would prove so terribly difficult in the future to be taken seriously by our state representation or our federal representation, or to receive. And I'm not saying, oh, Johnstown needs all this federal and state funding to survive. I'm not saying that, but it's nice to have, and it's nice to get this stuff from our state and federal government. And so if we were to just prove that we can't do anything with that and just throw it back, that would prove terrible for us in the future at getting any targeted funding later on. I'm also wanted to mention about the water and lighting. That's the biggest part of this project. I've said it many times. There is one water source in the park right now. I think that Discover Downtown Johnstown, who puts all this stuff on the park every year, knows the struggles with that, I'm sure, and the electricity. That is probably the biggest issue to fix in the park. I mean, we have construction drop zone sites in Central Park right now to provide the electricity. That's embarrassing. And the other aspect of this is if you wonder what changing a historic area, a historic park might do positively, even if we disagree, because I have a lot of disagreements on exactly how it's being done, but and exactly what it looked like, but at the end of the day, we do work off compromise. If you ever want to look and see what it would do for a town positively to change or update a historic area, look at Ligonier. Their park, which is not nearly the size of ours, they redid it, and not just that, but they redid it in a way that catered to some of the past, brought some new future in, and Ligonier, you know, that obviously is a tourist destination already, but has brought in so many more people in, with just small updates they did. We're not just updating, we're providing a brand new park for all involved. Every resident, every non-resident who comes to the city, and for it to be inclusive to everyone. As I've said 1,000 times, and I'll say again, I took the hours, I took the time, I looked into this. I have my disagreements, but at the end of the day, the park moving forward and spending this money and not sending it back to the federal government and making us look foolish is what's important to me and important for the future of the city of Johnstown and its residents.
We don't take questions now. You'll have a chance to speak again at the end if you're signed up.
One question, is the proposed fountain area that we're gonna let on, is it gonna be okay to put the tree on top?
Tentatively, yes. Tentatively, yes. Okay, are there any other questions, comments before we take the vote here? I just want to commend our council here. I know we've done a lot of homework on this. We've had a lot of agreements, disagreements, but as per a lot of levels of government not being able to come to a consensus, we will tonight. And I'd like to thank all my council members, however we vote this evening. If you would, roll call. I have to read the resolutions.
Yeah.
I read it already. It's been a long kind of...
You read it already?
Yes. And we did the comment section already, so roll call, please.
Clark?
No.
Janakovic?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Mock?
Yes.
Buchel?
No.
Arnone?
Yes.
Britt?
Yes.
Can you read the vote, please?
Clark? No. Janakovic?
No, just the totals.
Just the totals? 2 noes? 5 yeas.
Thank you. Moving on, a resolution by the City of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, approving a contract award to Straw Construction Incorporated for the City Central Park Improvement Project.
Motion.
Do I have a motion? Second. Questions, comments on this?
One brief comment there, if I may. I've clearly lost this battle, and I've known that for some time. But I want to implore CGL, I wish Karen had bothered to show up this evening from Upstreet Architects. I implore you to seek community engagement. I think we've heard that tonight. That is one thing that SCAPE did extremely well because they hired specialists to do it. Please reach out to Barb Zablotny. Please reach out to members of the community so that the design that we end up is reflective of their wishes, because we've had a pendulum swing from creating a radical compromise to creating something that it sounds like only members of council and maybe members of CJL and Upstreet have informed upon, which I think is very dangerous if we want public support. I'm voting the way I am voting, not because I want to give this money back to the federal government, because for me it's embarrassing that we are wasting our money.
Roll call, please. I'm sorry. Do I have a motion?
Yes, for discussion already.
She already, so no, right. Roll call, please.
Janakovic?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Mock?
Yes.
Buchel?
No.
Arnone?
Yes.
Britt?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
And the vote on that, please, totals?
6-1.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Johnstown, Pennsylvania, entering into an agreement with Bishop and Fort Catholic High School to provide a school resource officer and authorizing the city manager to take all actions necessary to effectuate the same. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Jan, roll call, please.
King?
Yes.
Mock?
Yes.
Buchel?
Yes.
Arnone?
Yes.
Britt?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Janakovic?
Yes. Resolution of the City of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, hereby requests a multimodal transportation fund grant of $1,008,248 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for the Delwood Street Bridge Replacement Project. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Questions? City Manager?
Yes. I have a question. Okay, during the construction phase, well, are they gonna do it one lane, or they can't do that?
No, if we review down to one lane, it would increase the costs exponentially, so it's gonna have to be a deep.
Any other questions, comments?
Any idea?
6 to 8 months.
Starting with, you know.
Well, no, we don't, we're still waiting with.
So going
We
up
can't hear you.
and around.
We're 6 to 8 months.
And you said we're waiting for the funding. Roll call, please.
Mock?
Yes.
Hugel?
Yes.
Arnone?
Yes.
Britt?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Janákovic?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Resolution of City Council, City of Johnstown, Campbell County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the city manager to sign a contract with the Rise Building Envelope LLC, DBA Duro Last Roofing System to replace the roof on Frank J. Pasquarella Conference Center. Do I have a motion, please?
Second.
Second. Questions or comments?
Was this funded by, money from Senator Lingerholt?
Right.
In the full amount?
$750,000.
There was $750,000 and another $300,000. Part of the contract is being covered by money left over from the $750,000.
Before we do roll call, I've just got to say, persons that are, or the group that's running the conference center are doing a fantastic job over there from the experiences I've had on any events. So, if there's any other comments, if not, roll call, please.
Hugel?
Yes.
Arnone?
Yes.
Britt?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Janákovic?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Mock?
Yes.
Resolution authorizing the City of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, to continue representation by Labour law in the pending federal litigation of Zipporah Major versus City of Johnstown, 323 CB 27.
Motion.
Second. Questions, comments?
I have a question for the solicitor. Could you explain to me, well, not just to me, but the reason, I guess you could say the reason why it wouldn't be good or appropriate for the city to, and for you to take over the recommendation?
So when this claim came in, it was submitted to the city's insurance carrier, and the insurance carrier for the city approved limited coverage that addressed defense costs for the litigation. When that happens, the insurance company sends typically the city either a panel of attorneys that they can choose from, or the insurance company will just assign an attorney that is approved by the insurance company to provide representation to the insured. In this situation, back when the case was filed in 2023, I believe, based on the docket, the case was assigned by the insurance carrier to Lavery Law, and from that point forward, that law firm has provided the representation for the city. That firm would be familiar or is familiar with all of the facts and circumstances surrounding that litigation and has been involved from the beginning in the various proceedings that have gone on through federal court. For me or any other attorney to take that case over after approximately 2 years of litigating it would cost the city additional money for an attorney to get caught up to speed. Given the amount of time and where the litigation is at, in my legal opinion, it makes sense for the city to continue to be represented by Lavery Law. This action is on the agenda, and I can't remember if I said this in my solicitor's report, because the charter, the city charter, actually requires a legal opinion from council and a resolution, legal opinion from the solicitor, and a resolution by council to retain outside counsel. So in this situation, because the insurance coverage is exhausted, the city now has to pay the legal bills for that litigation, which is what triggered the requirement for me to issue the legal opinion and for council to consider a resolution continuing to be represented by Lavery.
And I would say that if you or anyone else would take the legal, of course, it costs some money, but those costs, I assume, would be quite considerable.
Yeah, for me to read the entire file and re-interview people and get caught up to speed, I do believe it would cost a considerable amount of time and money, and the city is best served by continuing with this council they have already.
Thank you. Any other questions? Roll call, Jen?
Arnone?
Yes.
Britt?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Janákovic?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Mock? Yes. Hugel?
Yes.
Resolution of City Council of City of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the city manager and finance director to sign all documents and take other actions necessary in the purchase of two 2025 Interceptor SUV four-door and police vehicles. So I have a motion.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call.
Britt,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Jakovic,
Yes.
King, Mock,
Yes.
Hugel,
Yes.
Arnone.
Yes.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Johnstown, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, approving amendments to the fiscal year 2019, fiscal year 2023, and fiscal year 2024 CDBG and CDBG-CV program years. Do I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second? Questions or comments? Roll call.
Clark,
Yes.
Jakovic,
Yes.
King, Mock,
Yes.
Hugel,
Yes.
Arnone,
Yes.
Britt,
Yes.
Council, any new business? Any old business? Okay, department reports, you've received those reports with our packets. Are there any questions for any of the department?
I just want to commend Mr. Rutledge, when you came to the planning commission meeting prepared to talk about the CDBG funds. I appreciate that. I imagine Ms. Millard, you had some influence on that as well, but thank you for putting that together in an organized way. It's good we had some attention to that.
Okay, if there's no other reports, public comment, non-agenda items at this time. As soon as I can find my agenda. We will start at the top again. Dustin Green, general topic. If you would, same routine. You have 3 minutes this time. Sir.
My apologies for the fact.
Hey, Joe, I got a couple Tuesday. Sorry, a couple Tuesday. I'll call you.
Before you start the clock, I think that's enough for all of you. If I'm missing one, I apologize. Thank you. I have more copies. Frank J. Pascarella Conference Center. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
I heard you earlier tonight commend the new management of the conference
Excuse me
center.
1 second, please.
Dustin,
sir.
I think you need to give your name again. Oh, okay, that's fine. Dustin Green, 316 Chestnut Street, Dustin, D-U-S-T-I-N-G-R-E-E-N-E.
Thank you.
I heard you commend the new management of the conference center, and I see they're getting a new roof. I managed the conference center for 2.5 hellish years of my life, and during that time, I asked for a new roof as well, and I never got one. I have a picture submitted here when I managed the conference center, and the roof leaked all over a beautiful wedding dress during the wedding show one year, and it was a hellish day of my life. So I appreciate that you're finally putting a new roof on the conference center, and I'm glad that the new management's doing well. Even so, when you call the conference center, no one answers.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed.
I can't tell you how many calls people try to still get a hold of me to get a hold of the conference center. So I'm glad they're getting a new roof with the funds that were available when I managed the conference center. And I would love to know how they got that funds. It leads to my point about this bid for the park. It's why I'm frustrated. It kind of triggered me because the reason that I'm upset about this bid process with the park is that you can make changes to this bid after the process. As a business owner and somebody who bids on projects, I find it fascinating that this bid can be changed so quickly. You have a document in your hand that should have been shared with the public. We asked for this 2 weeks ago. You made changes to the bid. I want to know how much dollar in reductions have been made to the bid, because there's probably a company out there out of the 90 people that looked at the bid that may not have wanted to put a splash park in and may have not have bid on the project because they weren't interested in a splash park, but now that the splash park is off the project, they may be interested in bidding the project. That's not fair as a business. If I was bidding a project and I saw that there was something on it that I'm not interested in bidding, I may not bid it. But if there's something I'm interested in bidding it, then I may bid it. That's why it's not fair for you to now readjust the bid after the fact. And I asked the solicitor, I don't agree with you that it's legal. I agree that you can make minor changes, but you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars of changes. I implore you to tell us how much in dollars you're changing. You won't tell us. Make it public. It's amazing that you can make these changes like that. I find it funny. And now we're getting the greenery that we wanted. The splash pad's magically gone.
You have 30 seconds to conclude. So.
I find it fascinating. If you wonder why business people like me are frustrated in this community, that's why. Because there's no transparency. And Laura, you did a phenomenal job explaining the project. I commend you. That's what we need as leadership in this community. People like you to explain projects better, because we would be more informed. And I'd love to know about the Main Street project that's coming up. I think it's really unexplained. I'd like to know the timeline.
Your time's up, sir. Thank you for your comments. Also, just for the comment, there was never a splash park in there as a water feature, so just to clarify that. Trish Byock.
Yes. Trish Byock, TRISHFYOCK, 548 West Howard Street, Johnstown.
3 minutes to speak, please.
I want to say thank you to you. I appreciate you, your honesty. We need more people like you. I appreciate that you expressed you were confused. You are part of this group, and you were confused. How do you think we all feel if you were confused? I'm so glad I came tonight. There is a huge disconnect between this group and the public. And it's your responsibility to do a better job. You have done good things in the city. We don't want to take anything away that you've done good. You work hard. But at the same time, you need to hear the people. You were elected to hear the people, not make your own decisions. And that is the way our government of the United States works. You are responsible to the people. You're public servants, not gods. You don't dominate. You have to listen. You have to want to be connected. You may think you are, but you obviously are not. And that's why we're all here. And I want to say, if I can get this in, when I said nostalgia, there's a feel. I wasn't talking about the fountain or anything in particular, but we're all so confused because the plans we've seen didn't look like anything that anybody wanted. It looks so unnatural. That's why we're acting the way we're acting. We're upset. So I just want to be clear, and I don't think it's fair. You all get to talk as long as you want. We all only get 3 minutes. But that's another thing that should be addressed. But I just want to make it clear, I appreciate you. And I think the job of this council is to relate to the public of Johnstown in a better way. The police, when there's a crime, they stand up, they explain what happens. I think who's ever on this committee needs to pick someone or take turns doing it and communicate to us in a clear way what's happening. Thank you.
Pedro? Can I speak? Did you sign up?
Yeah, I did.
We gotta go in order first.
Okay, whatever.
I don't see anyone. Yeah, please.
All right, me again. Pedro Guzman, G-U-Z-M-A-N, 525 Pine Street. Right? I'm just here to make sure about what you guys answered to me when you come back. Laura, yeah, I know that you guys don't control the water authority, but clearly you guys are the person who can do something with the water authority, because we go into the manager tells us what is, and that's it. But we are not as close as you guys can be. I'm not saying that you guys are not doing nothing, but if you're telling me that you can do nothing, I mean, like they have a monopoly over there, which is illegal in this country, and we can do nothing about it, that's how it sounds like. Now, to the guy over here that controls the code enforcement, that's what I'm doing exactly with the grass, cutting the grass and the trees over there, like trying to be my part, like the people on the West End are doing it, like, you know, voluntarily. I got 27 property, all of them are cut out. I'm trying to make in good shape with Sean and Dave over there in the code enforcement. They know me very well. I'm trying to do my part. And I can do even more than that. For all the people, yeah, for sure. Between Pine Street and Golden Street, there's 2 houses over there They have the grass like really got high trees over there, landing almost falling on the sidewalk. I'm willing to cut it for free. I don't care. I got a bunch of Mexicans with me that can cut that thing in seconds. But I have to have the guarantee that that's not going to be grown back or they're going to have a ticket. That's what I'm expecting, you know, like that. At least a ticket so that people can have responsibility with the yards, you know. And for the guy over here that was saying like, yeah, thank you for explaining all that bit over there, but still we think like this exists for one reason and we are not hearing that like or playing that how it's supposed to be because you tell us about, yeah, the bid is this and that, they have this and that, but you guys looks like you guys don't want to negotiate with us. The people who really care about the city, even the park, are the people sitting back here. That's why we came. And it looks like you guys are just telling us like this is how it's gonna be, and that's it. But we came here willing to see if you know where the money came from, because it looks like the park's gonna be really fine and everything. It's like putting the White House in the Great Canyon. It's gonna be hard to get down there, you know. That's how it looks like Johnstown when you're coming from Bedford. Like it looks like a hole, and I'm not gonna say like what kind, but we want to see, you know, if you guys are willing to hear us about, you know, redeveloping other areas, like especially the entrance of our beautiful city. Thank you.
It was hard to hear during the meeting. You made a comment about the Main Street closures at one lane. If you could answer when I'm done. We couldn't hear what you said about the Main Street. Okay, it was hard to hear. I have whiplash tonight watching this meeting. You literally passed motions to redo the park, claiming you couldn't change the bid, the money has to go for this, and all of a sudden now there's a fountain, the splash pad's gone, and it is a splash pad, that's how it was advertised. We're going to have more green space and trees, and no one knows what you people are doing. When I went to City Hall to get the agenda items, all your reports this year were public. Now you said your solicitor said they don't have to be. We're not telling you, we don't care. That's what I heard. So I couldn't get a single one of your reports, which I've been getting every month for the last years as arts manager, because you refused to release them. I couldn't even get the resolutions to read what you were voting on tonight. You wouldn't tell us. That's how untransparent and unprofessional you all are. When I went to the Planning Commission meeting last week, I saw the plans to close this public safety building and literally move it to the west end. It was in the meeting minutes. I read it. It was there. It's being discussed. How could you close a historic building? How dare you? We talk about the Johnstown Housing Authority. Did you all forget this is August? In August, you do a 5-year appointment to the Housing Authority. Why is there no new board member appointed? You need to get rid of every single person on all these boards. Maria, I agree with your point. It's time we right-size the Housing Authority. That begins by getting rid of every appointed person you put on these political dinosaurs and changing it. Why didn't you reappoint someone for a 5-year term tonight? You didn't. You forgot. There's a settlement that the Housing Authority gave on a black mold of the death of an infant. I was called a liar for it last year. It's true. The Housing Authority settled. I have to wait for an appeal to find out how much money they gave because they won't tell anybody. Are you aware of this? The Johnstown Water Authority has a meeting tomorrow at 3 o'clock. They're proposing a $27 million renovation of the North Fork Dam. Are you aware of all this? They're going to raise our fees 10%. They're talking about breaching the dam. Not a word from any of you, not even during the report for the Water Authority. I'm waiting for a ruling for Hope for Johnstown from you all for records. Are you implicated in all this? What's going on? Why am I fighting for records for affidavits that I've received off of you that you're denying me access to? The ruling comes out in a matter of 2 weeks. I do not understand. And to answer Reverend King's comment, the Crime Commission was 2013. You were a member of it. Really good recommendations about the Housing Authority. Not a single one was followed. Representative Barbin put that together. It was 12 years ago. It was completely ignored. You will talk about blaming the council. You're right. The council and you should have done all of this. If the council would have taken those recommendations to heart and actually done something, we'd have a different Johnstown today. So in closing, I have whiplash. I'm in complete shock at how you were presenting this to the public. You changed the entire bid again. So if you could change it now, you could change it back and keep our park and do basic maintenance.
That's right. Yep. Yes.
Thank you.
agree with the, Joe Taranto, Taranto, 426 Park Avenue. I agree that the park's a mess. I don't know what's going on with it, but I guess we'll find out. But I did pick up on when you guys were talking about the housing authority, and it's kind of a pet peeve of things being unresolved that were brought up and not listened to. Trying to right-size a housing authority, many times I have spoken about this and talked to some of you about it directly. But to change the number of housing we have in the city, you first have to change the consolidated plan. I know you don't want to hear that, but your plan calls for increasing of low-income housing several times in the plan, and I've made little video tutorial things online about it. I know you guys, some of you have said I'm wrong, but I talked to the people at HUD as well, and they told me that. So, directly to me, they said to do that. The steps to do that would be to change it, is to change that plan, to change the housing authority, the public housing units into Section 8 vouchers, because you can't displace people, but you can change into the vouchers. As we know, they poured out, so many of them won't be in our city. You can do that through various programs. One that I was talking about at the time years ago was the RAD program that you guys can look up. It's on the HUD website. And you also will say, well, what about we don't want to have all that Section 8? When I was on the Housing Authority, I helped implement that home ownership program because it raises the bar of the people who qualify for the vouchers. So the Section 8 program, you can do that. You can do it regular rental or home ownership, which is another avenue. And the Housing Authority did an evaluation and said it was a good program to implement, and I think it got dropped. With those vouchers, you can also implement developer partnerships where there's certain grants for developers that where you commit a certain number of vouchers to the development, and those developers can wipe out areas of blight, build full live workspace where they have 20 rental units and like 5 commercial buildings down below, and they commit 10 of those 20 with a voucher program, and it's basically guaranteed income from the government to that developer to pay for the loan from the bank. There's all kind of programs like that. We tried to talk about that years ago, and I just frustrated that we're still having the same problem 10, 15 years after there was a viable solution. But yeah, you can't just displace people, but there's things you can do to right-size it within the program. So, but yeah, park is a mess. But you guys have fun. I'm sure everybody else will talk about it. If you have any questions, I will charge you about $2 million for
I just have one comment. The home ownership program, best my knowledge, was implemented, and there were only 4 houses ever done, and they were all in Cooperstown. I'm not asking for
Nope, that's a different.
That's
a different program.
No, we're not. At the end, you can comment. Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
I don't know, Marie, I don't know.
We're not.
No, I'm just, can you give us an update on the planning commission? Anything that happened, feel free to talk.
Yes, so the planning commission went over a number of items. We had a lot of people show up because they thought that the workshop that was originally scheduled about Central Park would be then, so a lot of people spoke about that, and I was very clear that the planning commission was not tasked with a review of the Central Park plan, and we weren't really included in that. Mr. Rowledge gave us an update about how the comprehensive plan is progressing. And then there were a number of things that kind of pop up and down on our agenda, one of which is this public safety building. Our chairman, Jim Carthew, had done an assessment of this building. He is a professional and in the field, he's retired. But he came up with a figure of what he thought it would cost ballpark to renovate this building to the specifications that would be required. And it was not surprisingly substantially less than the cost of a new build, especially when you consider that if we were to vacate this building, we would have to create some kind of disposition for it and not just abandon it. So we've heard all sorts of theories from the days of Mr. Imhoff, where he suggested that we use the conference center as a public safety building. The latest one where it was proposed that perhaps we would use the former Penelec building on Flat Street as a public safety building. These are simply ideas that are brought to the Planning Commission in the course of a workshop, and they are part of the Planning Commission's minutes, which are public record if anyone wants to review them. But those weren't action items of the Planning Commission. We actually didn't have any action items.
They were just this general discussion.
What was the amount on the renovation? $10 or $12 million, somewhere in that vicinity?
I think it was somewhere around there.
And we never did get a cost of what a new building would cost actually to build a brand new.
I still have 23 seconds. So to answer your question, those 4 houses that built were the homeownership
You
program.
can speak to me at the end of the meeting, I'd be glad to speak.
They're not building houses with the homeownership program.
I'm not conversing, thank you. Dr. Catherine McCloskey.
Coming, Your Honor.
Sneak it in, Dr. Kelly.
I'm sorry, I've got a sore foot and I'm a little slow. Catherine Ann McCluskey, CATHERINEANNE. It's one name. McCluskey, capital M, lowercase c, capital C, LOSKEY. I live at 525 Vine Street in the city of Johnstown. Mr. Mayor, Councilwoman Mock, you may remember years ago I interviewed to be appointed to this council. And my interest then was in small businesses, which is pretty strange because I'm a left-wing socialist. And I'm not supposed to be interested in free enterprise, but I love small businesses. I'm an old hippie. I opened a book and craft shop in the city of Johnstown where the kitchen is now, family kitchen. And I have really good luck. We opened it 16 days before the 77 flood. Business was wiped out. When I've been living downtown in the city now for 6 years, and I walk down Market Street a lot, and I see businesses come and go. Lately, the young lady who used to do my nails has closed her business, and it's not for rent. If someone rents it, that would be the 5th business in there in 5 years. We've got to do something about that. We've got an embarrassment of riches in people getting business management degrees. A program could be started where an internship would be granted by the universities and colleges in the area for people who would work with businesses to get them a business plan. Because people are opening these businesses without a business plan. Now, when I was in university, I was interested in the labor side of economics. So I didn't take a whole lot of business management courses, but I did pay attention in the courses which were taught by pro-business economists. And small businesses are the lifeblood of any city. And we've got to do something to bring new businesses into the city, small businesses, proprietor-owned businesses, proprietor-operated businesses. Now, some of us plan on going to Stonebridge to grab a beer and talk about how we're going to fight over the park and other interests that we might have. Now I don't even know if it's open. I'd like to be able to get a beer downtown. I don't have to go to Richmond. I don't have to go to Richmond to get my nails done. I don't have to go to Richmond. Westmont to get my nails done. I don't want to go out of the city to get a beer. I don't want to go out into the neighborhood to get a beer. I live downtown. There are things we can do, and I'm glad to work with any of you who will work with me. I do have a degree in economics. I know it's a dismal science. Nobody wants to deal with it. But I'm ready to help bring businesses into the city. And if any of you will work with me, I'll work with you. Thanks very much for your time. And 5 seconds early.
Deb Williamson.
She left.
All right. Ashley Craig.
My name is Ashley Craig, ASHLEY5SRNe4S. Again, I'm going back to my previous discussion or speech that I was so rudely interrupted before. On August 8th, Councilwoman Mock again trespassed on my property, took photos without cause, which that's not the case. There was garbage, which we did clean up, and verbally harassed me. Code enforcement violations, where Sean told me there's none. At current, there's no present. I came here knowing some of you might prefer that I stay quiet, and that the city council might try to hush me. but I refuse to be silent because Johnstown does deserve better. This is an isolated issue, and like I said before, there has been hydraulic fluid that was spilt on Sheridan Street and took 16 hours to be cleaned up. A gentleman of the age of 24 now has broken his hip and his femur and cannot walk. He lives in a house with me under my ex-husband. He's going against the city council, and when I asked Councilwoman Mock if she knew about it, she told me she didn't. So, meanwhile, with all this going on, energy is spent on petty disputes instead of actual real dangers. Our priorities must shift. We must replace the unsafe public safety building and repair crumbling infrastructure. And I've been saying this for a long time, and I've even had officers tell me when I walk in, this is not a safe place to be. So we focus on code enforcement, on real problems, and not personal disputes, which she told me that my neighbors had a problem. So instead of her coming up to my door and knocking, hello, my name is Councilwoman Mock. Hey, there's an issue with your property. Do you mind cleaning it up? She didn't do that. So I wanted to make sure that we act quickly to prevent life-changing accidents such as the one on Sheridan Street and stand with residents facing also domestic violence, which I've heard a lot of. Too many suffer in silence, and our city must provide protection, support, resources for those in danger. Johnstown can be better if you want real change. If you want to, I know I'm not under any pretenses here, but if you're going to vote, you can vote me in for council. I will proudly vote for John DiPatrola and Joseph Tarantino for their support. If you want honesty, vote it in. If you want change, vote it in. If you want Johnstown that works for you, write it in.
30 seconds.
Let's rebuild trust, restore safety, and make sure every voice counts. Let's hashtag Save Johnstown together. Thank you.
I inadvertently passed over to Samantha Schaefer. Samantha?
Okay, my final comment, as I said earlier about putting an elevator by the stage. You can have that there for handicapped and fixing the sidewalks. And some unions are doing a good job, and I appreciate it. And keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I announce our last speaker, what I'd like to do is offer Mr. Toronto his 23 seconds, sir, if you would.
I appreciate it.
Do note that we are offering those 23 seconds to respond.
I'm good.
Thank you. If you'd like to talk to me afterwards, I'd be glad to. Alrighty. Brian, again with the last name, Brian.
O'Shea. Brian O'Shea with IOSHDA. It appears the public safety building is hazardous. I noticed yesterday that there's a brick building between Cedar Street and Hickory. It's going up for auction on September 8th in Evansburg. Maybe the city could put a bid in. I don't know if it's too late to put that on your list of things to vote for tonight before we're all out of here. So I figured I'd mention that. Also, I noticed in my area that they've been ticketing people for not moving their vehicles for street cleaning. However, I haven't seen the street been cleaned all summer. Why is that? Why do they continue to fine the residents of Johnstown to move their vehicles, but
That's the truth.
they don't clean the streets?
That's the truth.
This winter, I know it'll be like the last few winters. The streets won't get plowed. If it's a weekend, God forbid, we'll have to shovel the streets ourselves.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the
The
truth?
plows don't come through. If you happen to be living in Old Commonwealth Borough, in one of the alleys, they don't even touch it at all.
Nope.
So why is that? Why don't the public works and the plows come through to take care of the residents that pay taxes just like everyone else?
Absolutely.
Blight is a big issue in this city. It's just pretty much destroyed your city as far as real estate values are concerned. When you got the $100 million from the COVID relief fund back in 2021 and whenever it was, I don't know exactly. The primary focus should have been attacking the blight. doesn't look like you've done much. I mean, I've seen some buildings come down, but you have hundreds of more. I plan on documenting it all and posting it on John and Joe's website for everyone to see how really decrepit and deteriorated that this city has become. I don't know about any of you all, but I came to this city because it was on sale. It had been here almost 5 years, and quite honestly, the values have gone down. I challenged my tax assessments, and I expect my appraisal guy to come in with a value close to what I think is what they're worth. And the assessment board will probably disagree and will probably mark it up, but it's going to come down. I know it will. Everyone here shouldn't have to pay to have their properties assessed by a professional appraiser to get an adjustment down on their taxes.
You have 30 seconds to do this.
If reevaluation occurs in this county, it's going to be the downfall of the whole entire region. Johnstown is still looked upon as, a place to live and thrive. I think the time's about up. So we'll see what happens in the election in November. Hope John and Joe and Charlene take over. Thank you.
Before we conclude, there was a gentleman, so that we're fair this evening, and basically we asked him to come forward. Normally, you would not be allowed to speak, but since we're going to hear from the public tonight, if you would.
You didn't let Robin speak, though. She wanted to sign up, too.
What's that?
Robin wanted to sign up. They refused her to sign up. You do it for one, you do it for both. Yeah.
Sir, if you would, you have 3 minutes to speak. Your name, address.
3 minutes. Okay, hello, my name is Donald. Last name is Rapp. Like a rabbit, A is an apple, P for pineapple, P for pineapple. All right? And a lot of people know me from Johnstown. My nickname is Gino. Okay? So,
Your address, please, sir?
my address is 184 Chandler Avenue in the West End. So I'm part of the member in the West End, which I went to the meeting last time. All I wanted to say, and it'll be real quick, this is, you guys keep on hearing City of Johnstown. The one main key about it, it's Johnstown. It's not a city. You know what I mean? So you keep on making, I wish the best for the future of Johnstown and everything like that, but let's not push Johnstown too much in the future to make it into a city. Because if you make it into a city, a lot of people from the city think it's a city, then you're going to have higher crime, higher destruction, and stuff like that. All I'm saying, because I'm originally from Pittsburgh, so I already see the outskirts of things. I'd rather have my family, my kids, and everything in a nice, safe, good environment and stuff like that, instead of keep on pursuing to the future to make it something you might not be able to handle. That's all I got to say. Thank you for your time.
And at this time,
Yeah, 3 minutes, Robin. Give him help.
Hi, good evening. My name is Robin Kometz, KMETZ, 125 Spring Street, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. I just want to say tonight that as a taxpayer of this city, I was just horrified at how you switched up the plan for the park and did whatever you wanted to do. You really did not and do not listen to this community and to the citizens that you all serve. Laura, thank you for stepping up and doing what you needed to do. Good job. It just seems to me as a taxpayer, I've lived here for 25 years, I've never seen a city run the way this city is run. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, where things are a lot different, bigger area, but still. It just seems like everything you guys touch here, you ruin it. And I think right now you're going to ruin Central Park. And it's heartbreaking. It's truly heartbreaking. That's all I got to say.
thank you. At this time, meeting adjourned.
Yep. I think I have like 3% battery left. Yeah, did you push finish? Good job.
Take care, man.
Good job.
Hey, good luck, man. Yeah, that building is, I was shocked to see it. Brick building between Hickory and Cedar. Some clown online wanted.
Is this done?
Please take a draft.
Yeah, it's done.
Take a draft. Take a draft.
What'd you do? Oh, it doesn't matter. I have a copy. I'm not worried about it.
Recorded the meeting.
I did. It's on my page. But my battery has like 3% left. 3%.
Next.
Post. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I don't do it that way. Check your page. Nope, it didn't record. It's okay. I got it.
I need to go.
That